And welcome inside beautiful Labatt Memorial Park as we are here for Game 1 of the semi-final action between the Hamilton Cardinals and the London Majors, the defending IBL champions, London Majors. Matt Hiscox alongside Neil up here in the Game Day London press box. Two new voices up in the press box.
Two new
Neil,
voices, yes.
You've been here a little bit. My first time since 2019. We're shorthanded tonight, but you know what? We're going to get through this. All of our lovely crew is out enjoying the long weekend, but you know what? We wouldn't have it any other way. It's baseball. Right?
Exactly. It's baseball on the long weekend. You know, you get to play to September, you're doing something right.
Exactly. Good night for you guys last night. It was well played, we'll say.
Yeah, it was well played, yes.
You know, not the outcome you wanted. I'm sure you'd rather be in Welland right now, but I'm glad to have you along my side. I wouldn't wish anybody else to do this game with. Besides Noah and Dylan, I should say
exactly.
that. You know,
those two guys are the cream of the crop there. So I don't blame you on those ones either. So yeah.
Yeah. So we'll be getting right into this game very soon here. Like I said, Hamilton and London, an outcome that we didn't expect. We expect to see Toronto here tonight. Really big win for the Cardinals last night, and we're here tonight for Game 1. We're going to start off right away here, taking a look at the Hamilton Cardinals lineup here, as they're probably a little tired.
They're probably a little tired and probably riding a pretty big high right now. As far as nobody expected them to do any damage against the Wolf Royals, and those guys, they walked into Hastings Stadium in Game 1 with absolutely nothing to lose and came away with a series win.
Yeah, and you know what? You're exactly right there. They came in. They weren't supposed to even win one game.
Exactly.
Guelph was supposed to walk in, take 3 games just like London did against Brantford, and walk away into Welland the next day.
Yep.
That's not what that's not what happened. And we're going to see a lineup tonight that, you know what? It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a tale of two teams. Is it going to be the team that walked over Guelph in the first 2 games, or is it going to be what we saw regular season?
And it's hard to say. If they're riding that high and everything else, and not too high emotionally and everything else, just hopefully not going to hit that crash spot, the emotional letdown after last night, and walk in here. And, it's a very tough turnaround, especially it's less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
Like the game didn't finish until after 11 last night, so it was just like, yeah, they're going to definitely have some struggles here.
Yeah, it's really hard here when you look at it. Even for me, I was up watching the game. You were at the game. You think you could go home right from there. They have an hour's drive from Hastings Stadium to Hamilton.
Exactly.
Who knows where they go after that with the players? And you're looking 1:30, 2 o'clock.
Yep.
Then get on a bus, get in cars by, maybe 2:30, 3 o'clock at the latest.
Exactly.
That's a quick turnaround. You got to sleep all day then.
Yep.
So we'll see how they are. Dennis DeBanning's going to lead off for Hamilton. Big pickup after coming over from Welland earlier in the season. He's going to be good for them this year. You guys were talking last night. He's one of the Guelph killers.
Yep.
So we'll see how he does tonight.
Exactly, and then, and it goes from there. It goes to Luis John, and it's just the shortstop. He was the spark plug last night. He hit the tying triple that tied the ball game 4-1. It was now suddenly 4-4, and it just put the Royals on their heels and everything. You could just hear the crowd just kind of got sucked out of it after that.
Yeah, and you know what? You're going to see that when you're at home field. I've been to Hastings Stadium last time London was there. Sold out crowd.
Yep.
Probably one of the best crowds I've been at in the IBL, and I'm putting that close to London last year at Game 5 of the finals. That crowd does get into it, but when you suck the emotion out, that's a lot of emotion gone in that season.
Well, no question it was. And then Tyler Duncan, of course, with pair of home runs. Anthony Buonanoto. I'm going to say it wrong. I apologize to Anthony once again. He came in last night. He did some Ryan Burnside caught, and he's also pitched in this ball game. Jeremy Villieu batting .313 in the postseason right now. So, he's doing pretty well here. He's got a home run, 4 RBIs. Jacob Underwood, the star of the last night's game, the huge hit in the 10th inning.
Yeah.
6-4 runners right there. Robin Fox-Pappas, the DH. And, of course, Julian Russell getting the start tonight. Overlaying Renault. Renault's been struggling at the plate, so Julian Russell in there just to give, Renault a chance to take a break here.
Yeah, and we're going to go to break here as the anthem comes on. We'll be back to discuss the starting pitching matchup that we're going to see a face here that we haven't seen in a little while here. We'll be back with the call of the game, Neil and Matt from Labatt Memorial Park.
capturing emotion in every shot.
Beautiful rendition of the national anthem here, just finishing up as we are set for game 1 of the semifinal action between the 7-seed Hamilton Cardinals and the first place London Majors. Neil, it's going to be a good one. We saw Hamilton do well in round 1. I think this is going to be a good one tonight.
Oh, no question they should be. They're definitely up for the game. They're up for the challenge here, and they're going to sort of face Jose Arias tonight here, and that's going to be a challenge in itself. But, of course, Arias hasn't pitched since the Pettit game.
Yeah.
And it was only 3 innings.
3 innings. He had pitched just before that as well. I believe it was Saturday. Friday or Saturday.
Friday against Guelph, actually.
Friday against Guelph he had pitched, and then pitched right back again against Guelph there on Wednesday night.
Yep. Thursday night.
We were bumped 2 nights there, so my apologies for that one. He was bumped to Thursday night against Guelph and took the loss, pitched 8 innings in that game. That's a long game for him. That's a lot of pitching. Now he's got 7 days off. He's going to get, I think he goes 8 minimum tonight.
Yep. The concern is he's going to be over-rested now, and it's just going to be overthrowing.
I think a professional like him, we'll see it locked in. He's probably thrown a full bullpen, pitched during practice.
Yep.
He's a professional player. He's not one of the local guys that pitches here and there. He's somebody that really takes a charge in his craft.
Mm-hmm.
So Jose Arias on the mound here tonight. It's going to be a good one. The ace for the staff here in London. Pitched to a 1.56 ERA. I know you're lucky. You got Claudio Custodio there in Guelph.
We got spoiled.
You got spoiled. But you know what? I'll take Jose Arias. 132 strikeouts this season in 10 wins in 97 and 2/3 strikeout or in innings pitched.
Both losses against the Guelph Royals, but in both those games it could have gone either way.
It could have gone either way. It was a 2-0 loss and it was a 7-3 loss, and Arias only gave up 4 runs in that 7-3 loss.
Yep.
So it's a 4-3 game when he comes out of the game.
Yep.
So we'll see how he does tonight. And Michael Bonacorso. My apologies. Bonacorso. Another one of the former Jackfish that came over with just around the signing deadline for them. He's pitched well this year.
Yeah, he has.
He's done what he needs to. He's done well for the staff. It's going to be really good to see him out there. I haven't seen him pitch this year myself. Pitched 10 innings in the regular season this year for the Cardinals. Pitched 7 for the Jackfish. Had a nice, decent ERA, we'll call it, of 6.96, but struck out 5 in those 10 innings.
No question. And in the playoffs, he unfortunately drew Claudio Custodio in Game 3, and the Royals just
You gotta hand over the reins on that one and say,
hey, sorry about your luck.
Yeah.
Sorry about your luck.
Sorry about your luck, but you know what? You landed Claudio, and unfortunately,
and then to the Cardinals' credit, it was 12-1 at one point. They made it 12-8. The Royals tacked on runs in the 8th inning that made it 16-8 final. But Bonacorso went 5 innings in there. He gave the Cardinals bullpen 5 innings out of there. You got on the hook for 7 earned runs. His ERA in the postseason is 12.60. But that's just one game.
That's one game, and it's not even really a game. It's 5 innings.
Yeah.
So you got to give him, the benefit of the doubt to come out here, throw 5-6 innings, hope he gets through, the Majors lineup twice at least before turning it over to the bullpen.
And I think that would be the key here, as far as he's got to go 5-6 here. The bullpen's definitely hurting a little bit after last night. Of course, the bigger, higher leverages guys are definitely gone tonight. We're going to be very, very sore.
Very, very sore. I'll give you that one. Very sore indeed. As we'll see Dennis DeBanning get in there for the first pitch here at 7:11, about 7 minutes off scheduled time here as he fouls that one off into the netting.
He's been on fire since he joined the Cardinals. The postseason numbers are down right now. He's batting 136. He's got 14 strikeouts, but again, he saw Custodio twice in that series, so that accounts for probably 5 or 6 of them. That one's in there for a strike as well.
And unfortunately, he goes from Claudio Custodio to Jose Reyes in the
not
first
getting
game.
any easier.
He doesn't get any breaks here at all, and then he's going to have to face Owen Boone here too.
Yep.
You got to remember that. Owen Boone's no slouch himself.
Owen Boone's the quietest guy in the league here, and he's just going to have one of those seasons that, unfortunately, any other year he's probably going to be the candidate for Pitch of the Year, probably even on the MVP ballot at some point. But just
you run into hot imports, and that's what happens. Is that one's out there for ball one, and it's a 1-2 count here, 2 to Banning, with Arias getting the throw in there, and that's strike 3, the first strikeout of Jose Arias on the night here. And it'll put down to Banning on 4 pitches. Luis Jean will come to the plate here. You've seen him a few times. What do you got on the background here for him, Neil?
He's just been on fire. 450 in the postseason, 9 hits, 3 doubles, 1 triple. Of course, the triple that tied the ball game last night.
Now, I don't want to give him I don't want to say, you got a luck hit there. Guelph's got long alleys there, 390 to the alleys.
And it was just one of those ones that, it crossed up the right fielder, and it could have happened to anybody.
Yeah, honestly, it could have. I was watching that game, and we see him square around for a bunt here for ball 1, as it was just outside of the plate here. We know, everyone, it's not Noah and Dylan here. We know, you're not used to having two new guys up here, but we're going to get you through this game. Definitely a treat for us as well up here.
Well, I'm just honored to even being asked to come back here and do this game. So,
you know what, Neil? As I've said to you many times, you know what? There's broadcasters in this league, and you're up there as one of the top ones in the league. I got to put you behind Noah and Dylan.
Hey, those guys are the cream of the crop there. I have no problems arguing that one at all.
Noah and Dylan away enjoying their long weekend for this weekend, as that one's ripped down the third base line here, and it will go all the way to the corner. Jean on his way to second base, and he's going to get in there with a stand-up double, rip down the third base line there, just inside the plate, or inside the line there. That was hard hit.
He's been hitting the ball hard in the last series, that's for sure. And, of course, now Tyler Duncan coming up, who absolutely silenced the crowd in Game 1 at Hastings Stadium with that home run in the first inning. After John singled, hit one to left field, actually to center field, that Dalton Pompey chased down, but it went over the batter's eye in center field. And, of course, that bounces back in, and there's a home run anyways, which confused a lot of fans at home, too, including our announcer.
Yeah, you know what? I've never noticed that. I've been to Guelph multiple times and never noticed that the batter's eye actually bounces back in.
Yep. Because actually, it's behind the fence, actually. So it's just.
I maybe have to make a little trip down to Hastings Stadium on my way, up to Hamilton or something like that, just to see that. It's one of the treats about the IBL. There's no stadium that is the same.
No, there's not. And it took me a while to get used to even just. I saw an aerial shot of Hastings Stadium. And wait a minute, this doesn't not even a perfect dimension for a diamond. Like, it goes out like it's square almost in one corner.
And we'll say that's done by my good friend there, Gar Fitzgerald. As that one's in there, strike 2. Jose Arias back in front of the batter here, and it's 0-2 runner at second base here after the double. And that one comes straight back into the screen here.
Duncan against the Royals batted .286 in the postseason so far. 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. Like, he was the offensive catalyst many times for this Cardinals team. He got on base, or he did something that got the Cardinals back into a ball game.
Well, when you're batting behind someone like Luis Jean, who ripped that ball down the third base line, if you got that in Guelph and he's hitting those spots in the alleys, who knows what's going to happen there? As that one's in there on the outside corner. 1-2 the count here on Duncan. Arias looking to put him away and leave that runner standing at second base here. You get this out, and it's a little bit easier going through, but you got to get the out here. You can't let that runner get to third. As he runs right through to third base, as the ball gets away from Mullen off his glove.
That'll be a wild pitch on the score.
as we see Jean standing there at third base. I'm wondering if it was a cross-up between Jose Arias and Robert Mullen, or what happened. It didn't look like they were on the same page on that one.
I think Arias thought he called the pitch out here, and that's why the ball was up in the air there.
Yeah, either way, runner on third base. Now you've really got to get that strikeout or something on the infield. All your outfielders have strong arms in this game. Byron Reichstein on the bench tonight, but you've got Starling Joseph, Austin Wilkie, and Drew Lawrence in left field there, left to right. As he goes around on that one, umpire didn't look like he wanted to make that call, but he definitely calls the strike, as that's strikeout number 2 there, as it gets Arias into 2 outs, runner on third base here.
Of course, that's going to bring up Anthony Bonagato, the right fielder.
And I'm going to leave that name up to you all night. You can have that name all night. You and Anthony can become best friends on that one.
I must apologize profusely every time we mispronounced that over the last few games, too. It's just...
Unfortunately, I am not good with last names. I can get through most of these names, but when you and I were looking at the lineup card before the game, I'm like, Neil, I think I'm going to leave that. I'm going to need some help.
I need to phone a friend on that one.
I'm going to phone a friend on that one.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't win $1 million on that one, though.
Nope.
And a runner steals third. Oh. He comes home. And Jose Arias and Luis Jean are staring down at each other. And he is thrown out at home plate there. I didn't even see him come off the line. He took forever coming down. And then all of a sudden, he's on top of Robert Mullen. As the hey, goodbye starts in Labatt Park here. Neil, I haven't seen a steal of third, or of home plate, I should say. I can't even get the words out because I've never seen it before in my life.
Well, the only one I saw this year was Dalton Pompey against the Cardinals in the last last regular season game in Hamilton, actually. And that was the only one I saw all year. But it's very rare. And, hey, Luis John, hey, you might as well try something here.
Yeah, you know what? I give it to him 100%. You got to get runs on Jose Arias as best as you can, and you got to try. Jose is known to hold the ball and get his timing how he wants it. This is his game. It's not ours up here. We can't make this game go fast.
Nope.
It's not Mullins. It's Jose's. He's going to throw the game how he wants to, and that's how it should be. It should be the catcher or the pitcher's game how he wants to throw it, and that's what's going to happen here.
Well, exactly. And you know, if you're the batters up here and everything else, hey, you got to call for time, ask for time, step out, take a break, whatever. But yeah, if Arias is on his game here, he's gonna toe the rubber. And if you're sitting in the box, expect a pitch. As far as that stuff goes, so yes. So we got a little camera problem behind the home plate here. So we're going to the wide shot as Matt's now scrambling down the line looking for a rechargeable battery here. I'm sure he's got lots of them down there. But again, thanks to the Majors, thanks to Matt for asking me, the pinch hit tonight after, a rough game last night at Hastings Stadium. But that's full credit to the Hamilton Cardinals. They came into Hastings Stadium last night, and they knew if they could keep the game close, they had a chance. And that's exactly all you can ask. The game went into extra innings. It easily could have gone either way.
You know what? I was at home. I had my good pal Josh. He's here to help us out tonight as well. He's on the field doing my job, doing photos for the night. So him and I were here. We did the night's training camp all day, and we were watching the game, and it was back and forth all game. Now that we've got our camera back up and running, our main feed here for the pitching batter, we're back to action here as Bonacorso is on the rubber, and the first one he's going to face is Jacob Newton, an outfielder who came into the majors. You have so many outfielders on this team.
Yep.
Austin Wilkie, Drew Lawrence, Byron Reichstein, Starling Joseph, Chris McQueen can play outfield.
Yep.
I'd start to lose count here. Newton came in and took second base by charge. Mm-hmm. Chris McQueen took some time off. He needed a break for himself. Wanted to make sure he was getting healthy for this long playoff push. Took some time off. Newton took over at second base and ran with it.
And honestly, it was just he's an all-star in most cases.
Yeah, you look at him. It almost looks like he's played that position his whole life.
Yeah.
I've talked to his dad multiple times. He did start as a shortstop. He started in, I believe it was the Ontario Blue Jays system, as a shortstop. And when he went down to Florida State, he moved to the outfield because they had too many infielders. as that one's in for ball 3 on Newton. And to continue the story here, his arm changed. His arm angle just changed. So when you watch him at second base, watch his arm angle, as it's a different arm angle than what you see at normal second basemen, as that one's in for strike 1, as a 3-1 count here for Newton. So we'll watch him here and see how he does on that.
He takes a 5-pitch walk here to start the ball game.
And that's Newton. He will walk as many times. He'll take the walks. And especially when you have someone like Taylor Wright coming up behind him who can hit the ball 300 miles. Mm-hmm. It is somebody, I think the majors 1 through 6, with Byron at 6, there's nothing that competes. Welland is close. I will give them that. Yep. But there's nobody that is consistent as London's 1 through 6.
No, we looked at the London lineup. We're looking for a weakness in the pennant game and everything else. You're looking at it going, they're all hitting over 300. There wasn't any weak points at all. There's not a good spot. Okay, you can't sit there if you're starting pitcher and go, okay, if I can get through 5, 6, 7, I got 8, 9, I can probably get out of this inning here. Yeah,
even 1 through 9. You're right. 1 through 9, you've got Drew Lawrence batting low, Keith Candell, a veteran in the league, as that one's ripped over the right field wall, off the back wall. Taylor Wright.
That left in a hurry.
With a charge in the ball, absolutely hammers it. And that will drive the Majors up 2-0 here in the first inning. Wow, that ball was on fire off his bat. It's like I just mentioned it. A good hitter behind Jacob Newton. He gets on base for him. And then what does he do? Taylor Wright comes up on, I believe it was the second pitch, drives it. It hit the right field down the line is 330. I wouldn't be surprised if that probably went 350, almost 375 off that back wall.
Definitely easily.
And Noah and Dylan have talked about it a lot. The old trees that were out past the fence were all shredded down into mulch, and the kids play on that. That went over that.
Yeah, it's a shot, and it left in a hurry. It was a screaming shot hit out of yours.
As Cleveland Brownlee steps in, and first pitch, I was looking at the stats earlier. He's been hit 10 times in the regular season, almost the most in the IBL, and that one's the first pitch gets in on him in the upper shoulder.
Well, I think the story on Brownlee is you want to get inside as much as you can, and if you miss inside, you're going to hit him.
And if you leave it out over the plate, both you and I know where that ball is going to go.
Yeah, somewhere downtown.
Yeah, we've seen multiple. The fans here in London have been treated to a career year for Cleveland Brownlee. 52 RBIs.
Yeah.
52. Oh, and he just turned 38 just a few days ago. I think the clock turned back very quickly for Cleveland Brownlee.
Whatever he's drinking, let's bottle it up and sell it to a lot of people here.
As that one's in there for ball 1 to Robert Mullen, who, I'm going to do this again, the league leader in average for the regular season at 404. You've had the pleasure of watching Dalton Pompey,
yep,
a former major leaguer who, don't get me any wrong here, I've watched him play. I remember watching the LCS. He was great in that game. Mm-hmm. Mullen had, I believe it was almost a 20-point difference,
yep,
over Pompey. So the London fans have been treated to an offensive slot all year this year, as Mullen looks at a 3-0 count here. And that one's going to get away from the backstop in Burnside, and we'll put runners on first and second, none out. Not where you want to be if you're Bonacasso.
No, it's just hard. He's just trying to get back into rhythm as far as everything else goes. And, of course, he's running on definitely short rest here. He pitched in Game 3, so that was Tuesday night. So now it's Saturday, and you're expecting him to go back out here and toe the rubber for some innings and just eat up some innings here too.
Yeah, and that's one thing. It's really tough. This is where pitching comes into play. How many guys can you start a game? The majors, they've got Daniel Gore, Bo Lewington, Fernando Fernandez, Owen Boone, and Jose Arias. That's a 5-man starting crew if you need it.
Yep.
If you got to go 5 games, you can go with this. As Starling Joseph takes a look at strike 1, and that's the first, I believe it's the first time we've seen Bonacorso get ahead of a batter.
That is correct.
I'm not sure if our fans could hear that one. I don't know if you could hear it. Cleveland Brownlee out there laughing.
I thought it was somebody. I thought it was a fan.
No, that's Cleveland Brownlee laughing from second base there.
Oh, man.
We can hear him laughing with either the second baseman or the shortstop up there. And it's just, the laugh is electric.
Yeah.
As Starling Joseph puts a drive into that one, and that's going to hang up for the right fielder. Cleveland Brownlee will tag at second and get into third base there. Mullen will stay at first. Runners at the corners for the Majors here. Only one out in the inning. As that'll bring Drew Lawrence to the plate here. Drew has been really one of the top rookies for the Majors. We see a lot of new guys in this lineup, but a lot of young rosters as well. So we'll see how it goes here for Drew Lawrence. He didn't play a lot in the first round, but is back in the lineup here playing left field. As he drives that one just foul down the line, and that's going to bounce off the stands and actually back into the bullpen of the Hamilton Cardinals. So one thing here at London, I'm sure you've had the experience of being here a couple times now. Yep. This is third time, I believe?
Third time, yeah.
Third time. And when it hits those stands down there, once you get past the second set of stands, it's wood.
Yeah.
So when it hits, it's like a springboard off that. As Drew looks at an 0-1 count, runners at first and third. And he'll lace that one just foul, basically the same spot as he did. Just this time it's going to stay in the play.
And good on Lawrence to take it the other way here both times so far, too. So it's just, he's not missing here. He's got the timing down from Bonacorso, and he's dialed in.
Well, and he knows that if he's going to put it the other way, Cleveland Brownlee's going to have a chance to score, even on a fly ball. And that one's ripped off the second set of stands, and it looks like everyone's going to be okay over there as a young fan's going to grab that ball. But Drew's gone 3 times to right field. You got to think Bonacorso's got to look outside and maybe get a swing and miss here.
I think that's what they're doing here, too, is you see Burnside set up on the outside part, and that one goes inside here.
That one was not where they were aiming at all.
No, Burnside was set up outside, and that one drifted back in. I'm like, okay, that's not where it was supposed to go. But
it looked like a changeup from up here, so those can get a little weary. As that one will come inside as well. That one definitely, I can say that was a off-speed pitch from here.
Yep.
I think you and I might have been able to hit that one the way that was coming in.
I would have closed my eyes and swung, but yes.
I would have done the same thing. Hope we get it. As Drew's brought it back to a 2-2 count, and he rips a single between the first and second baseman, and he'll get to first base there as Mullen will move up to second. Cleveland Brownlee comes in to home, giving the Majors a 3-0 lead here in the first inning. Only one out in the inning. We get a nice view of Cleveland. He had the big shot there, it looked, and I think the fans are just waiting for him to go off. We've seen him go off this year. I think they're waiting for him to go off again and have a big playoffs.
First, you bring up Daniel Perry here. The 8th spot in the lineup here as the Cardinals are still struggling here to get out of this first inning.
And only one out. That's really tough when you bring up the 8th spot in the first inning. That puts a lot of stress on your bullpen for this game. As Dan will foul that one off back towards us. Unfortunately for Colin Ward over in Brantford, he never had the chance to make a play. There was one night he was here, him and Reese Dumani were here, and the ball came through the netting.
Wow.
It came through the netting and landed about 4 rows in front of us. Not something you expect here in London, as that one's caught by a fan. What a
Great
grab. Give that fan a gold glove out there in the right field bleachers as he saved 2 fans that were just turning away. Great grab by the fans. That's one thing that you love to see here. As the runners are going to take off here, to second and third. Robert Mullen with a stolen base here. You don't see that often. I don't think he's had a stolen base all year. As a 2-1 count here for Mullen. And Dan Perry will rip that one through the 6-hole or through the 4-hole, and they'll throw home. And there'll be no throw at the home, and the throw back. And Dan Perry's out at second base trying to extend it into a double, but he does drive in 2 runs. That's a good play by Dan Perry. Get the run or the ball thrown back to you at second base to cause or to allow the runs to score in or at the home plate.
Of course, great job of the Cardinals defense there to pick that one up and get the trail runner there as well. Gets them a second out here, but they, it's a 5-0 score now. So they got their work cut out for them, but it's still early.
It's still early. 2 out here, 5-0 Majors as Austin Wilkie comes to the plate, and he'll get hit up in the shoulder, close to the neck area. That's a scary play for Wilkie. You never want to see somebody get hit that high at all, as you see him running down to first base, meeting Kieran Bowles, who the other night had a great night for the Majors against the Red Sox. I believe he went 3 for 5, almost put one out here. And we're going to see the last little bit here. We're going to quickly take a look. We missed this earlier on, but because we got right into it here. But the starting lineup brought to you by Eat Healthy Eats. We got to make sure that we give us our great sponsors here a shout out. They've done well for us. Great food there by Eat Healthy Eats. We're down here at the bottom already. The 9 batter, Keith Candell, going to have his at bat here and look to turn it back over to Jacob Newton. I know this is kind of irrelevant because we've gone through it already, but it's been when you look at this lineup, there's not a weak spot in it.
There isn't at all. These guys are all capable of starting an inning, coming in clutch, behind somebody else. There's enough plate protection through this whole entire lineup.
As Keith Candell, a veteran of this league, who's batting 9th in this lineup. He doesn't hit for the home run power.
No.
He's had, I believe it's 2 or 3 this year.
He's got 2 or 3, that's for sure.
In the big parks, too. As Wilkie will take off and unfortunately is thrown out at second base there. A great throw by Ryan Burnside will get Wilkie out, and that'll leave Keith Candell at the plate to lead off the second inning. As we're going to take a break here, coming back in the second inning, Neil and Matt up in the call of the Game Day London press box here. Game 1 of the semifinal actions between London and Hamilton. We'll be back after this.
Do you know where your food comes from? Like where it really comes from? It comes from farms, farmers, and their families. At Healthy Eats, we believe if we wouldn't serve it to our families, we wouldn't serve it to yours. From farm to folks, we do things the way they're meant to be.
Here we go.
Believe me, you've never heard a talk show like this.
I'm sleeping with Joe Carter. By the way, Joe did not touch them all.
Yeah.
I have to say, your voice is fantastic.
Meet Smitty.
Listen, I'm the brains here.
And Mitty.
And I'm the good-looking funny one.
This is the Smitty Mitty Show.
Catch new episodes of the Smitty and Mitty Show wherever you get your podcasts. Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home. Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and athletes. Whether it's the London Knights, Nationals, or Lightning, or even your London Majors, Game Day London has you covered. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com. Game Day London, a proud sponsor of your London Majors.
And we're back here for the second inning of work. Jose Arias back on the mound here as he now has a 5-0 lead here. And we look at the line score here, Neil. 2 hits.
Yep.
5 runs. That's not what you want to see for the Hamilton Cardinals when you allow 5 runs in the first inning, as Jose Arias won't allow many hits. He's going to strike out a lot, but when you allow 5 runs on 2 hits, it's going to be an interesting game, that's for sure.
And, it's just probably a little bit of nerves and everything else. You're a Game 1 starter. You're probably not expected to be in that role and anything else. And normally you would probably get Game 2 or Game 3. And you're getting bumped up to Game 1 just because of how everything played out last night.
Exactly, and we go back to that. Jose Fernandez pitched an inning.
Yep.
You're going to have to remind
Corbin
me.
Peters went in after that.
Corbin Peters.
I'm sorry, Dari Torres went in after that, and then it went Corbin Peters.
And Sam Turcotte started that game.
Yep.
So they went through 5 pitchers in one game. That's a lot. And now they did win.
Yep.
We'll give them that. When your season's on the line, you got to run through whatever you
gotta
can.
Go. It's all hands on deck.
Yeah, and Claudio Custodio started on 2 days rest and went 6 innings. That's a lot for a guy like that.
No kidding.
I don't know how his arm is still attached. But we'll start off here in the second inning.
And Anthony Boniato will be the batter.
As he was at the plate when Luis Jean tried to steal home, something that you and I have hardly ever seen. I remember one in 2020. A Brantford Red Sox did it.
Yep.
And he was successful about it. But that's the only one that I've seen in a long time there.
I'd have to go back even a few more years. Even back then, I think it was like when I was coaching with the Guelph Silver Creeks. A gentleman by the name of Ryan Davison was actually he was our captain when I was coaching the high school team too, and it was just he's no longer with us. Unfortunately, he lost a battle to cancer last year, but he was the last one I saw steal home, other than Dalton Pompey.
As Newton will range over to that one, just in behind second base. What a play by Newton! We talked about the speed that he has in the outfield, and he just made sure he showed that one off as he was able to throw the runner out at there. He was almost on the foul line when he threw that one out there.
That's an outfielder's range on an infield.
On an infield. And you know what? We talked Chris McQueen. He's got the range of a center fielder as well. I've seen him make plays, running into usually Byron Reichstein in right field. Now Starling Joseph there this year. As that one's in there for ball 1.
Burnside's probably got a bit of a sore arm as well. He pitched Game 4. He started Game 4.
I was going to say, we've seen him pitch, catch, and I believe play first as that one's on the ground. And Newton with another spectacular play. Oh, and Dan Perry, unfortunately, at the end, isn't able to make the scoop. But a great play there by Dan Perrier. And by Jacob Newton, was able to make that play over at second base. Runner at first base there, though, but you can't talk enough about that play.
Burnsides gets the single there, and you can't fault Newton on that one at all. But he went to as far into the hole as he could, and that'll go on the official scorebook as a hit. And Jeremy Veilleux now, who's batting. Veilleux batting .313 in the postseason, a home run, 4 RBIs. He of course was the IBL player to watch last night on the big graphics put up by the IBL last night, and the Connor Morrow for the Royals on the other side of that one.
And those are 2 players that you don't want to mess with on either side. You want to make sure that you're either strike them out or get a fly out. You don't want to see them make any contact on the ground or deep in the air because they can run.
They definitely can.
As that ball is hit deep to left field, and Drew Lawrence
reels that one in.
With no play back there at first base. A great play by Drew Lawrence to make that catch. I don't know if you know this, Neil. He's actually a football player as well.
I did not know that. No.
He's a football player. He plays for the London Beefeaters. He's not playing for them right now. Obviously, he's focusing on winning one of those nice big rings with the London Majors.
We're going to call him Deion Sanders or Bo Jackson. Then.
Exactly. We're going to have to here as he shows off that speed there in left field there to make that grab. We've seen him lose his hat a couple times. So that, I don't know if you can do that in football, but definitely a speed threat there on both sides of the plate.
Well, last night on one of the fly balls, Louis Jean from the second base or from shortstop threw his hat off. I was just like, I've never seen anybody do that from shortstop. It was just like he threw his hat off, make the catch.
Definitely an interesting play. I mean, the skies in Guelph, they're very interesting as that one's in there for strike 1. 2 out here, 1 on as Jose Arias. I almost had Fernandez in there as Jose Arias is looking to get back out there or back in the dugout to get his bats out there after a solid first inning. As that one will come across the plate for ball 2. 2-1 count, 2 out. You've got to think he's going to be trying to go after these Hamilton Cardinals. He's been known to get up there in the range of 91, 92 range. So you know these batters are going to try and catch up to that. But it's just hard in this league.
It is, and Underwood last night, he's actually coming into, I guess, tonight. He's batting .353 in the playoffs, 6 hits, 3 RBIs, of course. The big knock last night, the game-winning, I want to say double, but I think it was actually a triple last night in the 10th inning. That gave the Cardinals the 6-4 lead, and, of course, eventually the 6-4 win.
As that one will miss on the outside, bringing the count full here. The runner on first base will be off on the pitch there.
And these Cardinals are playing with a little more confidence today. You can just see it in the way they came in, the swagger at the plate. They're saying, hey, we got this. We've played against some of the best pitchers in the league already. We faced Andrew Case. We faced Claudio Custodio. Jose Arias doesn't intimidate us, but at the same time, you got to show him respect.
Exactly. You have to show one of the second – you know what? As a London personnel, I will say this. The second best pitcher in the IBL. Mm-hmm. You know, we're going to have London fans here saying, well, he's pitched longer, Yeah. But you know what? Claudio Custodio is the pitcher of the year.
No question.
Over 200 strikeouts. Now, don't get me wrong. Arias pitched incredible all year.
Arias and Boone pitched absolutely marvelous all year long. And it was just like any other year, those two guys are hands down the 2 picks.
Exactly, as that'll miss high
and that's
outside.
Not a slight against Wellens, Jake Hartford, and everything else. He only pitched 6 innings against the Royals in a blowout game where, nothing was going right for the Royals and everything else. So it was hard to gauge how he was as a pitcher.
And you know what? This is a respect to the league. The pitching has grown this year. Last year, you look, the Majors' key to success was Owen Boone and Pedro de los Santos. 2 quality arms for the team. That's how you win championships, and that's how teams in this league will win championships. As that one's ripped down, almost catching the first base coach there, was, I believe it's Jacob Underwood.
No, Underwood walked.
Sorry, Underwood walked, yes. So it's Robin Fox Pappas at the plate here as he's behind in the count 0-1 on a foul that his first base coach will definitely be talking to him about. And a great pitch there by Jose Arias and Robert Mullen on the call is that he got out in front of Fox Pappas with a breaking ball and dropped probably about 2 feet off in front of home plate, but Fox Pappas was already through on the pitch. Looking to strike out Fox Pappas. Here is Arias with runners on first and second. Majors lead 5-0, 2 out here. As they'll check down at the runner, or at the umpire there, Jeff Rose. Back here in London doing another game. I think I've seen him more times than I've seen any umpire this year.
And it was funny. We hadn't seen Jeff Rose till actually we came down here the one weekend, and then we saw Jeff Rose a lot after that.
And that's the thing. These umpires, there's a lot of them in the league, but a lot of them travel a lot. And that's one thing the league has done really well is having good umpires that will make the drives to call quality baseball in this league.
No question.
Arias with the 1-2 pitch. Just missing low is the pitch here. And that'll bring it to a 2-2 count on Fox Pappas. You wonder if the runners will start here soon, if you can get them going. We've seen Hamilton running a lot already. An attempt of steal of home plate there. An interesting choice by the Cardinals as Jose Arias misses that one low. And another full count here is 2 out. Runners on first and second, a full count as Arias will take a little stroll here around just to catch his breath here. This isn't the Arias that we're used to, not getting these full counts. We saw him do it against Guelph a few times there in that pennant-winning game, but this isn't Arias getting to these full counts. Usually it's 1-2, maybe the 2-2, but usually you don't see him get to too many full counts here. As Arias comes set, the pitch, slap down foul. And the runners were already at their next bases there before that ball even landed on the grass there in foul territory. As we already see action in the bullpen for the Hamilton Cardinals. One thing about these uniforms there, Neil.
Yeah, we had problems with them at Hastings Stadium. You guys got much better lighting here, but it's hard to read the numbers, and that's just.
And a chopper back up the middle.
That's going to be booted by Candell there.
Something you don't see a lot by Candell is a boot, but runners will move up. Bases will be loaded here.
That's an E6 on Candell.
And it'll bring up Julian Russell with the bases loaded, 2 out.
It looked like on that play he was just trying to get the ball and make the play before he had the ball.
Yeah, and we'll see Brent Wales here come out. I think that this isn't a talk. This is a take a breath.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got, you've been here. You haven't been here before. You don't get in these situations. But if my looking is correct here, the first 2 out, or the Buonanuto. Hey, I got it right there. I might be able to do this all night here, folks. Buonanuto was out on 2 pitches. Burnside singled on 2 pitches. Veilleux was out on 2 pitches. And then you got Underwood, who took him for a full count.
Yep.
Now you've got Fox Pappas, who takes him for a full count. You're getting up there in the pitch count in this inning. It's hard for these guys a lot to go through so many pitches. Once you get into that 20 range, that's when you're going to start to see a pitching coach come out. And I think that's exactly what this was. Pitching coach Brent Wales comes out, calms down Jose Arias, and you'll look for him to strike him out here, I think. As that one comes right in there. That was a full tilt fastball that came in there just on the outside of that corner.
Of course, Julian Russell making his second appearance of the postseason. He got into 1 game against the Guelph Royals. He was 1 for 4 in the contest.
Arias set with the pitch, and that one just misses on the inside pitch. You could see Jose Arias and Robert Mullen wanted that one. Mullen held it a little bit longer. It looked like it just leaked on the outside of that plate.
And the Cardinals last night were doing this against Jeffrey Nunez to a T. They were waiting very patiently at the plate as this one's hit into this right field, and it looks like it's going to be caught by Starling Joseph out there, and that's going to end the inning anyways, but it looked like it got a good charge into it anyways.
And that's one thing that the Cardinals can do. They can get those charges into that ball, and unfortunately you don't want to see that happen too much if you're Jose Arias. Neil, it's been a good game so far. Besides that first real, run for the majors, the Cardinals have done well. We look at it. They fought against Arias here. I should make an adjustment here as we're both running scoreboards up here. 2 hits for the Cardinals on the night. 2 hits for the majors. Really, if you take that 3 hits. I apologize. There are 3 hits.
3 hits, 1 error.
1 error for the majors there as we continue. Like I said, you and I are up here running multiple gigs up here. It's not our normal crew, Noah and Dylan. I know you guys are listening to me. I hope I don't make a mockery of you two. You guys have done so well.
I don't want to get you're officially banned from the press box.
Well, yeah, it might be you and me getting the ban next week.
Yep.
Unfortunately, you'll be sent back down to the other end to run our point streak there when our good pal Dave Woody isn't around. But you know what? I should say I appreciate it. It was last night at 11 o'clock. Yep. I sent you the message.
Literally 5 minutes after the game ended, and it was just like, okay.
5 minutes. I think the message was, I feel bad for sending this. I know you just lost. Can you help a brother out here?
I've never seen so many pleases in the one text message in my life.
Yeah, and you know what, Neil? It goes to the talent that we have in this league. We've got the talent on the ice. On the ice. I was at hockey all day, I should say. We've got the talent on the field.
Yep.
But we've got the talent in the press boxes. We've got the talent in the managerial positions. And we've got a lot of talent overall through the IBL. And it looks like we're going to see new talent here in the IBL as it'll be number 2, I believe, coming into this game here. It'll be former London Major Spencer Bach into this game here as you see him on your screen here. Spencer played 1 year here. I believe it was 2019 here for the London Majors, and now I believe this is his 2nd year in Hamilton. He played in 2020 or 2021, I should say. 2021 for the Hamilton Cardinals, and now 2022 he's back. He faced the Royals there just the other night, pitched decently, and is now in this game for the Cardinals after a 5-spot put up by the Majors in the first inning. As you can see it there on your scoreboard, You look at this game. We were looked at the radar. I was here at about 2:30, and we had large rain here, and it worried me there. I thought we might not get this game in here. Now that we are here, it's warm.
Yeah, it's very warm, very humid today, and.
Can I go back to the hockey arena?
Can you bring the air conditioning? Can you bring the refrigeration?
The refrigeration, that might be a good idea. As Keith Candell, who was at the plate when Austin Wilkie was thrown out here, will make his appearance here in the inning against his former teammate, Spencer Bach. And that one's in there for strike one right away. Bach comes set here on the rubber, and an interesting scoop by Burnside as he tries to make it. We saw Keith Candell actually a few weeks there, Neil. It bounced off the plate over Keith Candell, who isn't, the tallest guy. No. It makes a bounce, but over him, and he's able to pop it off his bat into his hand. Yep. That's hand-eye coordination here. As Keith will rip that one down the right field line into the left field, and he'll make the turn to second base in there ahead of the tag, and we'll call time immediately. The little salt and pepper shaker there with the sprinkle of Keith Candell, and he's on at second base with a leadoff double down the left field line.
That trademark headfirst slide, every time I see him do it, I just kind of hold my breath and go, please don't hit the base. Don't run into somebody's legs here, but that's the Keith Candell signature move here.
I believe it was Keith. I'm not 100%. We did see Keith actually I apologize. It was Drew Lawrence. Drew Lawrence took one a couple weeks ago in the side of the head when the batter or the second baseman came to make a tag, fortunately missing it. Now it stopped right there. He was removed from the game, all safe precaution, just to make sure he was okay. So we do see it a lot in the IBL, but there's no other real slide, especially when you're trying to get in there ahead of the tag.
Yeah.
As Jacob Newton will come to the plate, who walked in the first inning, and he'll drive that one in to right field. A catch there by the right fielder, and Keith Candell will stay at second base there as Newton will fly out to the right fielder. Bringing Taylor Wright, who absolutely, you know what? If I wish I had replay, we have replay normally when our whole crew is up here. That was the one I wish I had replay on. That ball was absolutely crushed over the right field line off the back wooden fence. If you've been to Labatt Park, you know the fence that we're talking about. The back wall keeps all the people in the streets out, keeps the balls in the stadium, and he put it off the mid wall of that wall.
Hit off there with a loud thud. It sounded like it was going off something at Hastings Stadium because, of course, it's Hastings Stadium. It's a wooden fence out there.
One of the nicest fences too.
Yeah.
I will say that. I've talked to many people. I don't know if you and I have had this conversation. Hastings Stadium has to be in my top four.
Yep.
Top four in the IBL. You've got London. You've got Welland. You got to go Barrie in there. It's out in the middle of nowhere. You got the bugs and everything.
Yeah,
that might drop.
The only place I've ever been to for a ballpark, they hand you a little sample pack of Oscar-tastic and go, you're gonna want this.
Yeah, exactly. I've been there. I haven't been there this year. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to make the trip. But that is one place you don't have cell service, so you're gonna be watching the game no matter what.
Yep.
And you're gonna make sure you want to bring bug spray because you're out in the middle of nowhere, trees everywhere. It's a beautiful ballpark, and then I got to bring Hastings Stadium right there at number 4. As right here at the plate has a 3-0 count. Do you give him the green light?
I think if it's up in the zone, you definitely take a hack at it, especially when you're already up 5-0. But you don't want to show up the Cardinals here either. So it's up to the batter, really.
And we see Taylor Wright digging a new bat there. He had a red one after his return from the Ottawa Titans, and that one's in there for strike one. That one looked like he wasn't moving the bat off at any point.
No, in this situation, you're up 5-0. You want to see what this pitcher's got to. Spencer Bach, of course, they probably haven't seen him in the regular season, so it's new eyes for everybody.
And a lot of the majors here weren't teammates. I think Keith Candell, Cleveland Brownlee, Byron Reichstein, as Wright will take the walk and I'm not sure anybody else in the lineup. Brownlee and Candell, actually, the only two in this lineup that have seen Bach play with the majors. As Cleveland Brownlee comes to the plate here, this is one, he likes the fastball. You know he's going to be looking for it here.
Yeah. And he might get one here just because there's already 2 guys on base.
But you got to make sure it's outside the zone.
Yeah.
Because Cleveland will, if it's anywhere over that white, you might not get that ball back.
No, exactly. And
runners at first and second. Taylor Wright, Keith Candell, speed on the base pass, and power at the plate. Cleveland Brownlee sets and will swing at that one. And unfortunately, it won't leave the infield.
Infield fly will be called here. And Brownlee's retired for out number 2.
And definitely, he got the fastball, but it wasn't where he wanted to put it by any means. As if you're Spencer Bach, you tack that one up in your record books and say, hey, I got to throw that pitch again to Cleveland.
Yep.
Because you know he's going to be not expecting that one by any means. As Mullen, who was hit,
he walked.
He walked.
Brownlee got hit by a pitch.
Brownlee got hit. There's been too many hit by pitches already in this game
yep.
that I'm losing count here. Mullen walked and then stole third in that, or when he got to second base there. Something we have not seen all year. Someone who you don't expect to have big speed as he'll dig in here. And that one's way outside for ball 1 to the league leader in average, Robert Mullen, taking on Spencer Bach here.
It looked on that delivery that Bach just kept Candell in his rearview mirror when he threw that one, and that's why it was way off where it was.
And that's what speed can do on the base pass. It can get in the pitcher's head, and you can see they're staring down each other there. He's not even looking at a second baseman. He's looking right at Keith Candell, and that one's caught right on a line. Mullen
Great
rips
job
it.
by Jacob Underwood on that play there, and the Cardinals get out of the inning unscathed.
That's a good inning for Spencer Bach in this inning as he keeps it a 5-0 game. And the Majors and Jose Arias will return to the field after this break. We'll be back with London Majors TV.
You're seeing this in the air on your...
My name's Tiffany Creasy, and I take care of the sales and marketing at Rickard Promotions and Recognition. Some of the things that we do at Rickard Promotions and Recognition is we bring your brand to life. We kind of put your logo on anything that you can give away or brand, and we can service clients right across Canada. At Rickard Promotions and Recognition, we can take care of your designing of your logo for any artwork that you need done for the branding. And a lot of people don't realize we can do that here. We also have our in-house production that we take care of your order from start to finish right here at our one location. So with keeping everything in-house from graphic design to in-house production, we're able to get you your order a lot quicker with a faster turnaround time. We'll help gather your ideas together, give you some options to kind of narrow down the search for you, whether it be from your apparel to promotional products. And from there, we'll get your mock-ups done, proofs done, order done, and the quality control is right there all along the way for you.
So tell me where it hides. I know I got some lightning currents running through me. I found that silver lining on the inside of me. Yeah.
And we're back here at beautiful Labatt Memorial Park. And Neil, I would be mistaken. I have had a great team all year of volunteers.
Yeah.
We are here 3:30 on Fridays, midnight at night. I have a great crew. Fortunately, they all ditched me on Labor Day weekend, But I would be mistaken if I didn't he helped me run social media. He took our TikTok to top in the league.
I'm scared to touch TikTok.
For 4 months. There's teams that have had it for 3 years.
Yep.
I won't name teams, but 3 years. Andrew Wark. It's his birthday today.
Well, happy birthday to Andrew Wark.
I got to give Warky, the Warkinator, a happy birthday shout out today. He's out. He's actually working with Humber now.
Nice.
He's able to work remotely for us, running social media. Doesn't get our TikToks, the good questionnaires.
Yep.
He's kind of left that to me. I've kind of dropped the ball.
I was always scared to ask those ones, especially when we have Dalton Pompey there, and it's just like he's either going to be into it or he's not going to go into it, and it's just like if he's not into it, I'm still worried.
You know what? I will say, Byron Reichstein is kind of the same player, but he gets into it.
Yeah.
Because it's a new lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
If someone in my age, I'm on that cusp of being old for TikTok. I'm 27, and I'm getting on the
I'm
cusp.
not mentioning my age then.
I'm on the cusp of old for TikTok here. But you know what? Andrew Work has done incredible work. He set goals this year, and he surpassed them by a lot.
Yep.
Worky, I got to give you a happy birthday shout out, buddy. We wouldn't be the great London Majors crew here without you. We miss you back here. Get back soon. We're going to win a ring for you, buddy. As Jose Arias returns to the mound here with Dennis DeBanning at the plate here. Not really often you see a leadoff guy lead off an inning.
Not usually, but that just tells you that either the pitcher's doing his job and keeping retiring guys in order, or the defense is doing their job.
And he gets ahead 1-0, or 0-1, on that one there. And that one's ripped down the third base line. A great play by Taylor Wright, and he'll throw him out by a mile. Is that one. Taylor Wright, a shortstop arm, third base arm, can play first base. There's not a spot I don't think that man can play. Maybe catcher. We've even seen him in the mound. Actually, I believe you saw him on the mound in Kitchener.
Yep.
And a great player for the London Majors. A huge bat. Great defensively. He makes that play over to Dan Perrier, who was able – he doesn't even have to move on that one.
And Dennis DeBanning is not slow by any means.
Not by any means. As Luis Jean will come to the plate here. And Jean, 1 for 2 here in the game. As that one will miss outside. 0-1.
Sean 1 for 1 actually. He doubled in the first inning and got to third on a wild pitch and got thrown out attempting to steal home to end the inning in the first.
That's right. I do apologize to Luis Jean, as he did have a great at-bat there. It's hard to kind of run all things up here at once. I almost need that third monitor to see point streak here, as you get the luxury of running point streak over here. You get to correct me all night here.
Well, I do that a lot with Scotty Fraser too, so it's okay.
Normally, I'm in behind a camera here on the field. I don't get to see all the counts. The game passes by me so quick, as Jean will foul that one back off the top row here of the beautiful overhang in Labatt Park here. A 1-2 count here on Jean. Jose Arias back out there. He's pitching more dominant here this inning.
I think he's just settling in. He's finally gotten loose and everything else, and he's back to his normal routine. Well, of course, he had that long layoff here, and like what I said on the top here, I was just concerned that he might be overthrowing or just not feeling as accustomed as he is on the mound.
And he skips that one in, looking for a swing and miss there, and isn't able to get that one.
Especially when you get the ball on, usually every 4 or 5 nights, and it's like, okay, it's now 7 days, even though I threw a bullpen, but it's still.
It's adrenaline.
Yeah.
You don't get the adrenaline that you do on the mound as you do in a bullpen. And Jose Arias, and I'm going to lay money on this one. I don't think there was an outing besides the game against Guelph. He didn't go a minimum of 6 innings.
I think you're right.
I believe there's not a game he didn't go 6 innings. Oh, sorry. His first outing where he got the 4-out inning save, as Jacob Newton will try to get that one, and he'll be out. The outfielder's arm comes into play and throws out Dan Perrier there and gets Luis Jean out for the second out of the inning. We talk about that arm at second base. I think he could throw it from center field and still get Luis Jean out on that one. He's got such a strong, powerful arm, does Jacob Newton, and it really helps that infield out a lot.
That'll bring up Tyler Duncan, who struck out in the first inning. Duncan batting .285 in the postseason, but he had a great year at Hamilton. No question about that. He filled some big shoes, and of course, if you're a Hamilton Cardinals fan, and of course, you're always going to compare him to Justin Gideon. But, they're two different players. They do two different roles. Tyler Duncan is going to be a great player to watch in this league in the years ahead.
And this is a young Hamilton Cardinals team. They've lost Justin Gideon, lost Chris Lazar. I've called him Curtis Lazar.
I did it too.
And you know what? I've talked to Chris multiple times. That was my first year. I called him Curtis Lazar. I'm a big hockey guy.
Yep.
So, the mistakes happen. As Duncan's behind or tied here 1-1 with the pitch on the outside. And Lazar is somebody in this league. He's a good person. He's someone that does his job. He's out here, takes the ball, and it works effectively. He's someone you'll want to root for even if he's not on your team. And you lose that in your clubhouse, it's really hard for the team. As Arias is behind here, 2-1, now 2-2 on Duncan. And
the Cardinals were in a rough situation. They weren't living up to expectations, so ownership made the call. They let Dean Castelli go. Jeff Lonsbury took over. And a couple of the veterans, they were loyal to Castelli. They wanted out after that. And that's what happened.
Arias set on the mound as that one's nubbed to third base. Taylor Wright with a seed over to Dan Perrier. We talk about Jacob Newton's arm. We talk about Taylor Wright's arm. And the Majors defense is incredible out there so far on that one. As you see the players coming off the field, Bo Lewington, Cleveland Brownlee, Byron Reichstein, Keith Candell. I think that's the biggest cheering section for the Majors. Last year, I'm not sure if you remember, if you were, following on the Major Championship run, they had Luke Kelly.
Yep.
He now plays for the Party Animals with the Savannah Bananas.
Yep.
Luke Kelly was somebody that you could watch and incredible. He wasn't, the Jose Arias, but he was powerful in his emotions. He could give you emotion. When he came off the field, it was almost like the two pitchers, I'm going to get them wrong, Nunez, I can't remember who it was for Hamilton last night who struck out in the bottom of the eighth. The emotions that they had at the end of that inning, that was Lucas Kelly every game. Mm-hmm. That's what teams need. They need the pitching. You need somebody that has emotion.
Yep.
And that's what a lot of teams...
Well, the Toronto Maple Leafs have definitely got one with Angel
Villanova.
Castro.
Or Castro, sorry.
Yeah.
Castro.
Yep.
Castro's another one, yes.
Yep.
Sorry, I was thinking of Villanova.
Well, I was lucky to do that Toronto game. They were here that one night, and he started here against you guys, and every inning he was got her chomping, cheering, whatever.
And that was one game that I wasn't here, unfortunately, for. And you know what? We look at the league, and I'll say this over and over again. I started in the IBL in 2016.
Yep.
I remember watching the league. 1,000 people would come to the games.
Yep.
Sometimes you'd get less. There's not a game where we don't have 15 to 2,000 people in the stadium.
Yep.
Even on rainy nights, we'll fill this inner concourse that you see on your screen. You can just see the field right now, but right in behind that view, beautiful concrete concourse here, great stands. We'll fill that on a rainy night.
Yep.
That's something that the league is great on building on. The social media, teams loving that, posting on there. It's a young person's sport if you run it properly. Mm-hmm. And that's what this league is doing. You've got to give respect to the league so far. Spencer Bach back out on the mound here as you see the fans that have come out here late notice. We got to remember that. This game we didn't know when this game was going to happen. We knew it was going to happen Saturday.
Yep.
We knew that, but we didn't know who.
Well, exactly.
Until 11:30, 11 o'clock last night.
11, I think it was like 10:53. I hit the finalize score button or something, and it was just like, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what happens in playoff baseball. You know you're going to play on Saturday night. The Majors have released their playoff schedule Saturday, Sunday. I should have remembered that. Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Game 5 if necessary, Friday night back here at Labatt Park. As Starling Joseph comes to the plate here in the inning, bottom third here for the Majors, a 5-0 lead. Joseph will lead off against Spencer Bach.
Joseph had a loud fly ball out in the first inning. Took him to the warning track.
And he's got the power. He had 2 home runs against Brantford in Game 3 there that went through the trees. We'll call them. I don't know where they land, but they went through the trees at least. And he got jammed on that one. And, Neil, I don't know where you parked, but I hope you didn't park over by the garbage dumpsters there.
No, I think we're okay.
That one's,
we were here early enough tonight that it was just like, oh, we can pick wherever we want to
that
park.
one's fisted into the corner there. And Starling Joseph, 1-1 count here on that one. And Bach with the delivery, and it's going to pop into
First baseman
first base side, and he doesn't even see that as it bounces way up into the stands into the last row there. As you see Joseph taking a little bit of time there, letting everybody get back into position himself.
So I got to ask, how long has that baseball been stuck in the screen for?
I started in 2016. So I'm going to have to give you that one on that. I'm not sure when it was. Unfortunately, there's a little ridge in the netting that when it comes down, if it doesn't come down properly, it will get stuck. And we've seen games where we get 2 or 3. As Joseph will fly that one. Wait for the sound on the roof here. It looks like it missed us on that one.
I think it cleared the roof.
I think it cleared the roof and the backstop here into the house's backyard there. You don't usually hear that in many stadiums.
Nope.
Usually it's when you leave the field, it's going to go over the fence. This time it's back over us into the house's backyard with a 1-2 count on Joseph. Spencer Bach here has come in and been dominant for the Cardinals so far in this outing. Up and in on Joseph, bringing the count to 2-2. If you're the Majors, you want to make Bach work. Doesn't matter what it is. You've already run through one pitcher. You got to run through the next. Keep the bullpen running. You got to go right back at it tomorrow. Who knows who's going to be left?
Oh, exactly.
It might be you and I going out to pitch for Hamilton tomorrow.
Oh, I'm working till 2, so they're on their own.
As that one's nubbed down the third base line, and it'll be offline, but just in time. And Joseph will be out at first base there. It looked like it pulled the first baseman off the bag.
Good job by Jeremy Veilleux to keep his foot on the base long enough to get the out there.
And as you said there, he just kept it on just long enough. Joseph doesn't run slow. He is a fast runner. We've seen him in right field track balls down very quickly, but he's not able to outrun the throw there. And one out for Andrew Lawrence. I should make sure I call him right. Drew Lawrence. Doesn't like Andrew. He's a Drew guy. And he rips that one down the third base line.
Great play by Jacob Underwood, too. There, geez.
And that's back-to-back plays there by the left field of the left side of the diamond for the Cardinals. It looks like they've really settled in here to get their feet under them. It took them a 5 slot in the first inning as Dan Perrier, who had a single and thrown out at second base, driving in 2 of those runs here, will come to the plate. You want to make sure that you work this out here, or this at bat. Make sure you get through a couple pitches here and give Jose Arias a little bit of time in the dugout as Bach comes set on the mound and drops a little bit of a curveball in on Dan Perrier. And
Perrier's like kind of, okay, nods his head and goes, okay, that's where it is.
That's where it is, yep. Throw me that one again. We'll see where it lands on that one. Dan has a lot of power. He has a couple home runs against these Cardinals as he rips that one down into left field there. And that'll be back-to-back singles for Dan, as that's exactly what the Majors needed here. Getting a runner on first base, bringing Austin Wilkie, who was hit by a pitch right up in the upper arm. Nowhere where you want to get hit. Doesn't matter how hard you throw. You could be throwing 25 miles an hour. It's still going to hurt.
Yep.
No matter what or how hard you get hit.
The Austin Wilkie I remember from last year is, of course, you guys won the championship on a Friday night. The Griffins were playing the Western Mustangs the next afternoon at Hastings Stadium, and lo and behold, who's the first guy at the ballpark? Austin Wilkie.
Austin is a ball player. Doesn't matter if you win, lose, no matter what, Austin Wilkie will be at the ballpark unless he is physically not there, and he cannot be there for health reasons. He had to a leave of absence early in the season and late in the season. He is a player that will be there whether he's hurt. He'll be out there cheering his team on. If he's, if it's a night off, he's going to be the first guy there still. He is a ball player that you want to build around, And that's what happened. He came in for the majors last year in the dispersal draft of Guelph, actually, and came in and made an instant impact in center field. You had Humberto Ruiz in left field, Byron in right, and Austin Wilkie in center. It was one of the difference makers. As Wilkie drives that one down the left field line, or right field line, but will land foul on that one down into the bullpen of the Cardinals, as a few Hamilton Cardinals scattered there on that one, as Dan Perrier will turn back to first base. The long-legged Dan Perrier. I think he could take a few steps and be past you and I there on what we're running full speed.
He's definitely a tall guy out there.
6'9".
Wow.
6'9".
Sure he got the right sport?
I've wondered that myself a few times. He makes a difference, though, at first base.
Yep.
That is one thing you have to give him. He makes a difference at first base. As Bach comes set for the 1-2 pitch, and that'll bring it to a 2-2 pitch. Runner Dan on first base here. Bach will take a little bit of a walk here for the pitch.
Again, another guy that pitched earlier this week, and now he's in his second inning of work today, but he's doing a good job here. He's been able to settle down the Cardinals, defensively anyways to this point in the 2 innings he's worked today.
As Wilkie rips that one
Foul.
just a bit outside the line. Where's that move? Where's that line from? Do you know?
That's from Major League, Bob Uecker.
Major League,
But
okay.
it's usually on the wild pitches. Just a bit outside.
Yeah, just a bit.
That is one guy, if I ever got the opportunity to work a ball game with, I would do it in a minute.
Well, you know what? You've got the young prodigy over here that you've worked a game with
Yeah.
here, and Dylan Baker.
And that I told my son Kellen about that, and it's just like, Daddy was so excited to finally get to do a game with Dylan because we worked on the home run derby a couple years ago, and I was a big fan of Dylan Baker.
And Wilkie drives that one into left field, or right field, my apologies, and he'll hang up for the right fielder as we are through 3 here at beautiful Labatt Memorial Park. We will take a break and come back for the inning, or the 4th inning, as the kids are about to run the bases here at beautiful Labatt Memorial Park.
Do you know where your food comes from? Like where it really comes from? It comes from farms, farmers, and their families. At Healthy Eats, we believe if we wouldn't serve it to our families, we wouldn't serve it to yours. From farm to folks, we do things the way they're meant to be.
Here we go.
Believe me, you've never heard a talk show like this.
I'm sleeping with Joe Carter. By the way, Joe did not touch them all.
Yeah, I have to say, your voice is fantastic.
Meet Smitty.
Listen, I'm the brains here.
And Mitty.
And I'm the good-looking funny one.
This is the Smitty Mitty Show.
Catch new episodes of the Smitty and Mitty Show wherever you get your podcasts. Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home. Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and athletes. Whether it's the London Knights, Nationals, or Lightning, or even your London Majors, Game Day London has you covered. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com. Game Day London, a proud sponsor of your London Majors.
And we're back here at beautiful Labatt Memorial Park here. Top of the 4th inning here. We are Jose Arias dominant so far in this game, as he has been incredible for the Majors. 3 innings, 2 strikeouts on the evening, I should say, as he has worked back to what we expect out of Jose Arias,
Yeah, and he's just, like I said, the first inning, first 2 innings, he was just probably getting his legs back underneath him, getting his arm location and everything else back. You can't duplicate that in a bullpen session. You have to face live batters. You have to face the right distances and everything else. You have to be in the right atmosphere, feng shui, whatever you want to call it, the right mood, mojo, whatever. But you got to call it something like that. And I think it was just a matter of him getting back to used to that, especially that long layoff.
Yeah, a long layoff, 7 days if you take out the even longer if you take out that 3 innings that he worked there.
Yeah. And even that game, he was on a pitch count. It wasn't like Roop told Dino, yeah, he's on a pitch count. So he's probably going to go 3 or 4 max, and that's going to be it.
Well, I believe that if I'm not mistaken, against Guelph the night or on the Friday before, it was something like 127 pitches.
Yeah, well, it was. He did not want to leave that ball game.
And when you're going, it's mano a mano.
Yep.
Claudio Custodio, Jose Arias.
Yep.
That's like the Scherzer and DeGrom.
I think there was only 6 hits combined in that game or something.
Yeah, it was something low like that. But either way, we've got Jose Arias back on the mound in this game here today, and he's back to dominate. His team gave him a beautiful lead here, a 5-0 lead in the first inning, and it's been silent since then. Spencer Box pitched 2 innings and has dominated the London Majors, not getting a strikeout, only allowing 2 hits, but it has not allowed any runs. Walked 1 in the game so far.
And Box just done what he had to do. He's just gone out there, got ground ball outs, got fly ball outs, and just let them hit the baseball.
Exactly. And he's got the defense around him to help. As that one's in there for strike 1 on the Hamilton Cardinal, Anthony Buonanuto.
You're close.
I'm close. I'm close. Hey, I just ran up 2 sets of stairs here. I got to, catch my breath here on that one. As that one's ripped down foul on the line here, and that'll bring the count to 2-1 on Anthony. As he's had a good game. When you look at what he's done, he's had a good outing on this game. But the Majors defense in behind Jose Arias has just taken everything away.
They've been highlight reels.
2 hits. 2 hits through 3 innings. As Buonanuto swings through that one, and that goes back to the backstop. And unfortunately, Dan Perry will miss that one and will come back. So it's a strikeout, but a dropped 3rd strike.
Yeah, so it's a strikeout wild pitch on the dropped 3rd strike. That one gets past Mullen. Bounces in the dirt, and Buonanuto is on a board here.
And that's exactly what you want, though, if you're Arias. You want to get that bounce strike there. Fortunately, Mullen's just not able to get that one to slow down in front of him. He looked around in his feet for it, but wasn't able to throw the runner out.
Gonna bring up Burnside. That one pops out of Mullen's glove again. Anthony not going anywhere on that pitch.
And Jose Arias calls time right away on that one. As soon as Mullen looked up, he called time, and that'll bring Robert Mullen out to see Jose Arias, and they're going to have a little talk here. Okay, what happened? Why did we get – that's twice we've been crossed up here. How do we fix this?
Yeah.
And it's a quick shot. You can see that very quickly.
I think it may have just been, okay, what signs are we using here?
Yeah, exactly.
We don't have the luxury of PitchCom yet in this league, but I don't know how much that costs either, but I can imagine it's probably not cheap.
Well, I can tell you how much a camera costs, and I'm guessing it's probably a couple cameras. We'll go with that.
Yeah, a couple of cameras that would be sacrificed for.
And Mullen guns out the runner at second base there with a beautiful strike. I wonder if that was also talked about there at the meeting between the two at the pitcher's mound, and he threw that hard in there at second base, getting the runner there, Buonanuto, as he was aboard on a drop third strike, but gets up there to second before being thrown out by Mullen. And Arias is behind 3-0, I should say.
Burnside singled his last time up, got stranded at third base in the second inning.
And that one hit the glove hard. You could hear that one from probably down at Budweiser Gardens where the London Knights are starting their training camp. I'm sure they heard that one echo through the building. I don't know about you, Neil, but I don't think I want to piss off Jose Arias.
No, it sounds loud and it sounds hard.
You don't want to get hit with that either.
No, it's like one of those guys, once in a while I get the urge to take batting practice against Paul Ante. Not this year, mind you, because PA's just been a machine and everything else, and it's just like, but once in a while I like to jump in. I would not want to face Jose Arias first for batting practice, or even just to go in there for a warm-up or anything.
Warm-up. Yep, and unfortunately he walks the runner there, and that'll put a second runner really at first base as Buonanuto was thrown out at second. Burnside now at first on the walk, as that'll bring up Jeremy Veilleux to the plate tonight. As Veilleux, so far, he's done well on this season. He pitched well, or he played well in the series against the Royals. 16 at-bats. He had 4 RBIs, had a home run and 4 RBIs, but did strike out 7. A .313 average. That's pretty good in the playoffs when you're taking on one of the top pitcher in the league.
Yeah.
He's unfortunately behind, though, 0-1, though, on Arias.
Now 0-2, that one just painted the corner there.
And that's one thing that Arias can do. He can snap that fastball in there that you and I hear from a mile away, and I don't even think I heard that one hit the glove from here. I had to look at the monitor here to see that one. As that one slapped down the third base line. A 4-6, and they miss at first base there. Jacob Newton had the slide of Burnside coming in there and is unable to turn the double play. But they do record the second out of the inning on the turn at second.
5-4, and then the fielder's choice for Veilleux. Jacob Underwood will be the batter now. He walked his first time up in the second inning. He got left at second base.
And that's when they had the bases loaded. And Jose Arias came back and threw hard and was able to get out of that situation. That's what your dominant pitchers do. That's what your aces do. If they get into problems, they're going to get out of themselves. As he's missed high and outside on that one.
The Cardinals are really playing with house money right now. They've gotten through the first series and everything else. They're gaining experience as this young team gets together and everything else. They're going to build off whatever happens, whatever outcome out of this thing. They're playing with house money.
Yeah, and you know what? Good on the Cardinals. A young team. They're playing really hard this year as that one's popped into right field. Starling Joseph will make the catch in the outfield, out number 3 for the Cardinals. And unfortunately, they're just not able to get that timely hit so far this game as they are down 5-0 through 4 1/2, I should say, in the game. And on this night here, we have to remember, we just talked about our good friend Andrew Work here. We've got to remind everyone, take a look at our social medias. Follow us on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and right here on Majors TV on YouTube. And, I'm not going to pull something from Noah and Dylan. They do this all the time. They're always good at this. They have our social or our YouTube.
Yep.
I'm going to say this properly here. Our YouTube account has grown, and they have done an incredible job.
Last time I looked, you guys were I think I looked this morning, I think you were 983.
983.
Yeah.
I hope you're wrong.
Yeah.
Because right now we're at 945.
Oh, maybe it was a little lower. I'm not sure. But
I'm hoping 42 people.
I don't think they dropped off the planet.
The planet.
I might have it was early this morning, and I mean really early.
You were also up late last night, so I think you were still up talking to me at almost midnight there.
Yeah, I was, and I got home, and I was just like, oh yeah, I got to go to bed now because I got to go to work this morning, and it was just like, oh yeah.
And this is one thing that we always, I can speak for Scott Dart, Roop Chanderdat, all of the London Majors organization, our volunteers, including yourself volunteering with me tonight while working Point Streak as well. Our volunteers work hard. We all have day jobs every day. Come to the ballpark. We enjoy it. Yep. We talk about this, our Majors TV crew, we love it. We're here because we love it. We enjoy being here. It's a night out at the best ballpark in probably this side of Toronto. Maybe if you take out Rogers Centre.
I'll be honest. This is my favorite ballpark to come to. It is, honestly.
Over the Rogers. Sorry, I'm a Skydome person.
I call it Skydome still.
I'm a Skydome person.
Every time I go past the sign, it's still Skydome.
Yep, it's still Skydome. And you know what? As Eric Collins is going to read out the out-of-town scoreboard here, Toronto's come back.
Nice.
They were down, I believe it was something
5-1
like
or something.
5-1. I heard it was also like 9-something. Toronto just put up a 6 slot in the top of the 5th inning. It's now 9-8, top 6 in Welland. If you see we just saw an upset. We'll call it an upset.
Oh, no question. It's not upset.
In round 1 with Guelph.
The IBL is known for upsets in the first round, though.
Look at last year. We had Brantford upset Kitchener. That was a 2-8 seed.
2-8 seed.
Maybe we see it again here. As we're back to the action, Neil and I are just here on story night here.
Baseball is going on behind everything. We promised you guys. We're keeping track of everything else, but we get talking, so.
We're both talkers here. We both enjoy talking. We don't do this for a living.
Nope.
But when we do get a chance to talk, we're not able to be stopped.
Exactly.
We're good radio voices.
Good radio voices, that's for sure. We got faces for radio. That's why you're not seeing a camera tonight.
Yeah, normally you'll see Noah and Dylan here on the camera. Tonight, we made the executive decision that we're going to not have that.
Yeah, I was like, I can't wear a hat tonight because,
it's a little warm.
It's a little warm, and it's like I got my Jays hat. I can't wear that other hat. We're out, so I'm not wearing that other hat. That other hat went in the closet last night.
And Keith Candell will rip that one, and that'll hang up in left field there. And will be at first out there. And you know what? I'm a hat guy too. I don't think this is one of the first times I've been out or without a hat at a ballpark in probably a long time here. And like I said, you've got Point Streak up. You've got a computer. I've got the full setup here in front of me.
Yep.
I don't think our booth cam is wide enough to get us both here.
No, it's just we're both in like. If this was Hastings Stadium, we'd be on top of each other. But here you've got so much room. It's like.
Another reason why the best ballpark in the IBL.
Don't let Ryan Harrison and the Welland Jackfish hear that.
I believe the fans and players also voted for that one.
Yeah.
As Newton is in there, he's flown out and walked in the game here as he looks at strike 1 here.
When that vote came down as a Guelph native, I was just like, why didn't we do better? Like, we didn't do anything to publicize it or anything else. We didn't go on Mayor Ken Grufftree's webpage and start pleading with Guelph fans to get involved in the vote or anything like that. It was just kind of we dropped the ball on that one.
And you know what? As someone who is on social media, does it for my day job, for this job with this volunteering with the majors, I'm on social media every day.
Yep.
And your mayor is very active with you guys. That's one thing that is really nice to see. Your city council, we were really lucky here. I know Sean Lewis, mayor candidate Josh Morgan, they're both heavily involved in the London Majors. They were here for the home opener of the regular season. It's nice to see the city council get in behind teams like this.
Oh, no question. It's just a huge push as well because then if the mayor's got that whole other platform where he can pull in other people into the ballpark.
Exactly. As Ryan Burnside takes a swing or a foul ball off of Josh Newton.
Yep.
Or Jacob Newton. Josh Newton. Where did Josh come from?
I just didn't call him Fig Newton. I almost did that the one night in Guelph, and I was like, where'd that come from?
I was talking to Jacob before the game. We had team photo tonight, and I said I was on the call tonight with you, and he's like, really? They couldn't find anybody else? And I'm like, well, you know what? I'm going to try and do my
Thanks,
best here.
Jacob.
And Jacob, he's like, I'm going to make sure I listen to it. Well, Jacob, here's your apology. I know you're not listening. And that one's popped down the first base line here.
And the bullpen has to scramble out of the way there as Jacob Underwood goes diving in there almost. They couldn't find anybody else. Okay, I don't know if that was a slight against me or a slight against you.
No, that's a slight against me. That I will 100% take that one, Neil. That is a slight.
I got to the park and Roop even chirped me tonight. I was like, oh man, this is something special.
You know what? Roop is a good guy and will always be on. He's even on me on some days. It's like, Matt, come on, as a 2-2 count here for Newton.
I remember when Roop broke into this league, so that's how far back I go.
And he'll rip that one down the third base line, and he'll get to second. Newton's got the speed. He'll hold up, turn the afterburners off on that one as he'll pull in to second base here. He points to the jowls there as before the game. We've seen it before when Newton gets into one of his, one game, maybe 2 game funks.
Yep.
He'll take the sideburns and bring them down a little bit further. I don't know what he's growing his hair with, but
it's not chia seeds, is it?
It might be because it grows in there pretty quick. But he's got the Elvis sideburns coming down on that one.
Got the pork chops going.
Yep, and you see him rub those as he gets the monkey off his back on that one. I shouldn't say monkey. He's done well.
Yep.
A walk in this game and a flyout and a lot of power and great defensive play as he stands there at second base there.
If Newton's calling that a funk, he came in the game batting .529 in the postseason. That's a funk.
Baseball players are weird.
Yeah, I know.
They want a lot out of themselves.
That's right. Takes ball 1 there.
And Wright trying to put one back onto Riverside Drive. He had a lot of power off that one, but is down the foul line there.
No activity in the Cardinals bullpen, so it looks like it's Spencer's box game here anyways for the next little bit anyways.
And you know what, Neil? I leave him. He's pitched well. He's only given up, I believe it's 2 hits. And
three
in this game now.
Yep.
Sorry, 3 in this game. And they haven't been hard hits. He's done well for the Cardinals in everything that they could ask for. As Newton drives that one, and that'll drop in front of the right fielder. Newton turning on the afterburners as he comes in. Will stand at home, and Taylor Wright will come in to second base here.
Six nothing's your score now as the Majors have collected their 7th hit of the night here. As Taylor Wright comes with a single. That brings in Jacob Newton from second base. Bring up the big man, Cleveland Brownlee now.
As Brownlee will look at ball 1 there on the outside.
The Cardinals do one thing really, really well, and that is bullpen management. They don't let their starting pitchers or their pitchers that come in here get too much loss of confidence as they go through these innings anyways.
No, and Bach should be he should be very confident so far. He's done well. And
he's done what he's been asked to do, is just go out there and throw strikes, get ground ball outs, get fly ball outs. Just let them put the ball in play, but let them trust the defense.
Exactly, and he's done exactly what Jeff Lounsbury could ask for out of the bullpen. He's gone 3 innings here so far, giving up 1 run, and I believe only 4 hits so far. As Cleveland fouls that one off the instep of his foot.
6 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for the Majors so far. The Cardinals, no runs, 2 hits, no errors. I think the scoreboard's got 1 more extra hit up there, but that's okay. We'll fix that in a half inning.
As Brownlee will lace that one to second base, and they're going to
get the double it off.
They're going to get the double off.
Luis Jean with the great play there.
By Luis Jean. Great play. And Brownlee's not happy with himself by any means as he put a hard hit on that one, but is unfortunately going to be left. And Taylor Wright is picked off at second base there as well. And we'll go to commercial here at the end of 4 innings here on Majors TV.
capturing emotion in every shot.
And a couple kids out here wet now after the water balloon toss here in between innings. 1 run for the Majors in the bottom of the 4th inning. Jose Arias still out on the mound there as I would assume he's probably going to go 6, 7, 8 maybe after having 7 days off there.
I think you just let him go as long as he wants to go in this situation, unless the score drastically changes here or the Cardinals start hitting him around the park a little bit. But, yeah, you know he's only going to be good for 1 game here. He's not going to see the ball probably till Game 4, Game 5 if necessary again. So
and Game 4 is Wednesday, so that's a quick turnaround. I'm doing my math quickly here. Never good in math in high school or even public school, I should say. I believe that's 4 days after today of rest.
I'm doing the fingers.
I see you counting the fingers there for me. 4 days rest, not ideal.
No.
The Majors, like we mentioned earlier, the Majors have the bullpen that they can do this.
Yep.
They're going to try and get through 3. They're going to try and do this in 3 games.
Yep.
That's every team's goal. And between you, me, and the fans here, I think that the Toronto Welland series, as I bring up the score here in that game, last we saw it was 9-8. It's 9-8, bottom 6 in that game. That game, I think, that series is going to go probably.
I can see it going
4
or
minimum.
5.
Yeah.
It really depends on how Toronto hits.
Exactly. 100% on how Toronto hits, and they can hit. They've got the players to hit. It's just a matter of how it goes.
Like the difference in the Barrie-Toronto series in the first round was Toronto had the batters, especially when push came to shove. They stepped up there. The veteran presence, the veteran experience even last year, they got to the finals, and their whole model has been #unfinished business all year. So, they're geared up for that. They're trying to get back to the finals. They'd love a rematch against the Majors in the finals.
I'd love to see a rematch against them, too. I would say, that both teams are good on the pitching set. Welland's a good speed team. Jose Arias is up ahead here, 0-2 in the count here. And he's, if you can get him going against somebody in Toronto like the Castro, that park's a different park. It's it's a different one than here in Labatt Park. It's only, they say it's 330, but
I don't think it is.
I don't think.
I worked there for 3 years, and every time a fly ball, you never knew if it was going to go out or not.
Well, I'll never forget the story. I wasn't at this game. Keith Candell hits a broken bat single off the wall.
Yep.
And here it would be broken bat to right field as Jose Arias strikes out Fox Pappas there in the first out of the inning here. And he hits it off the base of the wall in Toronto on a broken bat.
Yep.
That's a different ballpark there.
It is, and some days the ball flies out of there, other days it just hangs there and it comes down off fences.
And the other thing you got to remember is there's skunks.
There's skunks and the bushmen, and there's a whole different kettle of fish down there some nights.
Exactly. In game 42 of the regular season, they had skunk delays with us there.
42, and then of course the first game of the playoffs, the same thing happened. The skunk delay actually started was game 2 because it was a Saturday.
Yeah, because game 1 was ringed out.
Yeah,
so they had game 1 there, as that one's fouled off as well by Russell.
I think we were here that Saturday or something. We were here for some reason. Or I was around.
I think you were here doing Point Streak.
Yeah,
I believe.
Mm-hmm. And then they got skunked out or something. Yeah. It was like for an inning, there was a skunk delay.
As Jose Arias has a 0-2 count here on Russell, as he looks for back-to-back Ks. And they're going to check on that one. And Jeff Rose down the first base line calls the strike. And that's back-to-back strikeouts for Jose Arias in this inning.
And this is the Jose Arias we got used to seeing throughout the league. This is the guy that's saying, okay, I'm going to get ahead of you in the count, and I'm going to make you hit what I want you to hit.
Exactly. And he throws that breaking ball that comes in and drops before it even gets to the plate and is perfectly just placed in there and has the batters out in front of it. because they're expecting that hard, heavy fastball, and they're not able to catch up or slow down to the pitch.
If I'm a young kid in the London area and I'm interested in pitching, I'm going to pick Jose Arias' brain. Probably through a translator, mind you.
I hope you can speak a little bit of Spanish.
Hopefully through a translator. Thank God for Google Translate or something like that. But it's just like, no, I'm going to go pick his brain. If he's working at a camp and teaching you mechanics and how he approaches a ball game, you definitely want to be taking some notes.
Him and Owen Boone are the two that I'm going to talk to the most. Boone, a local guy, graduated Western last year, I believe. Incredible human being. You could talk to him for hours, and he will give you every time of day in the city that you're in the world that you could ask him for. A smart person on and off the field, calls his game. He knows what he wants. Has been in this league long enough to be a professional and dominant.
No question.
As Arias falls behind 3-0, and you can see him take a second there to check his hat, put his hands in the air thinking, what am I doing here? I don't get into these often.
Which reminds me, you got to get you somebody's couple of pictures for the broadcaster all-star team. The broadcasters got together and we voted on an all-star team on all the 8 teams.
And you know what? We've seen the broadcasters have seen the results.
Yep.
It's coming out from the league, and I believe from what I've heard, it could be next week or the end of the year, depending on how things run. But it is a really good all-star teams I would love to photograph, shoot video of. There's a lot of talent on those teams.
Oh, no question.
It came down to a lot of picks, and
it was nice to see as far as they didn't vote favorites. They didn't go. It wasn't political.
I will say, and as someone who's seen the results, there's going to be some shocks.
Yeah.
And we should make sure that as Arias strikes him out there, interrupting our little talk here, as he strikes him out, as you see Arias come off the field here.
He's dialed in.
The Majors are dialed in, 6-0. And we'll just finish our little gab here on the All-Star team. There's going to be some surprises, but we have to make sure everyone knows if there's a London player, they were not voted by the London crew.
Well, it's the same thing. It wasn't the Guelph Royals didn't vote on the Guelph Royals.
Nobody voted for their own team. So if there's a London player on there, it was voted by the other 7 teams.
Exactly.
Not the Majors. The Majors didn't vote for any of their players. There is players from all the teams that we gathered together. They all voted for everyone but themselves.
Yep.
And that is something you want to make sure the media does.
Yeah, exactly.
And we'll hopefully see that come out. We'll see it out before the end of the year.
Yeah.
From what I've heard is at the end of the year for sure, we will see it.
I know I got to get a couple pictures so I can finish the video that's sent off to the league as far as that stuff goes, so I'll try to track those down the next day or so. Maybe on Monday when I'm at the office and it's probably going to be a little bit quieter, hopefully. We'll see.
You know what? I have a link that I'm just going to send you, and we'll get you those, and you can
finish it up.
Finish those up.
Yeah.
I will say that is my one side that I have. And it's all of our media teams throughout the league. We're not just doing this.
No, exactly.
You've got a lot of media that, for me, I'm very lucky. I have a team of 10 personnel up here.
If I had 10 people behind me, my goodness.
I
don't think I know what to do with myself.
And you know what? I'm going to pat myself on the back here a little bit.
You should definitely be doing that.
I will. I'm going to give us this award, the best broadcast in the league.
You guys, I won't even argue that one.
I'm not. I say it humbly.
No, and that's.
But you know what? I'm going to look here in the chat because I know we've got a lot of great fans here in the chat. We've got Jackie, who is Anderson Acevedo's wife down in.
Hi, Jackie. By the way, great to see you again.
Down in, I believe it's either San Francisco or.
I thought they were in Texas. They're in Texas.
I believe it's Texas.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of. We've got. I'm trying to look here as I look at our chat. Looks like we're missing a few normals here. Natalie, good to see her back. Marsha Robinson's here. We have some of the best fans in the world that tell us each night that our broadcast is the best in the league. Right now, Neil, we have 91 people watching this broadcast.
That's awesome.
91 people are listening to you and I here. We apologize. How's that for everyone? We apologize.
We're sorry we're taking away from your baseball-loving content. We're just blabbing our heads off here and having too much fun.
You know what? Sometimes you gotta do that when Noah and Dylan aren't here. They're the professionals, you know.
Yep.
But we gotta get our little bits pieces in here.
As Robert Mullen will come to bat, he's 1 for 2. 0 for 1. He lined out to the third baseman. He walked and scored in the first inning. Stole a base in the first as well. Who says catchers can't steal bases?
Who says Robert Mullen can't steal bases? Robert Mullen, known as one of the not fast players on the majors, we'll call him. He's definitely got the power, and that's what he was brought in. Power and defense versatility. We've seen him play first, second, third all year.
Yep.
Mostly behind the plate. I think there's only 2 games he has not caught this year.
I think it's the one game in Kitchener.
No, he was in the game in Kitchener.
Yeah, he started first.
Yep.
Yeah, but then he went to third base, and then Brownlee went to third. And
yep, that was a
headache as a scorer.
As a scorer.
I was like, where are they going now? I think I was messaging you going, is he at third now? Like, this is weird.
Yeah, and that's some things, you need the extra hands every once in a while. But Robert Mullen has been incredible all year as he looks at a 1-2 count and has the power to drive the ball out of here.
And, it's always great to know we have that support system in the league as far as we can reach out to other scorers, other people that do games in our parks. And it's like, that Mike Marasco's and Hamilton and everything else. We're playing Hamilton. And it's like, who's this guy on the mound? Because we can't read the number because, again, it's just it's the font and the fact that these numbers, they should have had the black outline on these jerseys.
You know what? It is hard. As I'm looking over at you, and we've got our program screen here over in the corner. Spencer Bach had just turned around here, and you see red, but you can't make that number out. And I've known there's been multiple times up here in the booth there, Dave Woody, Eric Collins, Sue, they've all asked, hey, what's number warming up? And I've got the big long lens out there trying to see as Bach is set here for a pitch for a full count here. So Robert Mullen with a full count. This will be interesting to see what happens. He's known to walk, though, too.
Mm-hmm.
And Bach, he pitched three innings here so far. You got to think he's starting to get a little tired maybe. Not a starter usually, but he's got to be getting close there to being tired.
And he pitched earlier this week, too, so, it's not like it's just that it's not the full day's rest. It's not the 4 or 5 day rest he might get in a regular situation here. He got called on spot duty here. You go.
And he's done dominant work so far. He's held the majors to 1 run, 3 hits so far in his work, and he's done exactly what Jeff Lonsbury needed. As Mullen with the full count will take ball 4 down low. Runner on will move to first base there, and that will bring up right fielder Starling Joseph, who against Brantford had a big series, but tonight so far he hasn't been the normal Starling. He's made the great defensive plays in the outfield, but hasn't finished off the game that he has normally.
Again, the Cardinals, no runs, 2 hits, no errors. London Majors, 6 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. As Starling Joseph comes to the bat, he's 0 for 2, like you said. He's flown out to right field. He had a loud shot in the first inning. And a great play by Luis John in the second at bat as he swings and misses at that first offering from Bach.
And he's looking to put one out of here on the swing like that. As Mullen takes his lead, very small lead off first base there, not even off the cut there, as you take a look here on the screen before Spencer Bach sets for the pitch. And that'll miss low for ball 1 on that one. I've talked to Noah and Dylan on this one, and they are true professionals. I don't know how they do this. I can talk and talk and talk daily, but talking baseball, you get long on it.
You do. You worry about I hate to use the word verbal diarrhea, but sometimes it feels like you're just talking constantly and having to fill the space here because you don't want to have the viewer tune out either.
And that's one thing I'm going to make sure I drop this chat or this survey in for all of our fans to fill out. We've had people tell us in our survey, we talk about it, what is something that you enjoy about the Majors YouTube chat, as that one's bounced through the 4-5 hole or the 5-6 hole, and Starling Joseph is on base here, and he chopped that one through the hole. Definitely a hard ball to get to if you're any of those two infielders on that one.
Just the 8th hit for the Majors on 6 runs here.
As that'll bring Drew Lawrence, and I'll get back quickly here. Some of our fans have enjoyed that we don't have dead air.
Yep.
Because we have our great sponsors that run our commercials through. They run, Noah and Dylan, they can talk for hours, it feels like. And
exactly.
You know what? They're not going to sound like verbal diarrhea. They can talk for hours, and it's enjoyable for all of our fans. That's one thing that I want to make sure our fans enjoy. We all make sure that we set up properly. We're here before the game. We're relaxed. We come in, and we enjoy it.
Oh, exactly. And it's like I always say to my kids, in January we have the Tim Hortons meeting, as I call it.
Yep.
Where I sit them down at the table and I talk to my youngest two, Kellen and Nora. They're up north with Grandpa Dave right now, so I know they're not watching this. They'll probably catch it on YouTube at some point this weekend.
You mean they're not listening to Dad doing
No.
an excellent job?
You know, my daughter's actually never been to the ballpark when I've done a game.
Really?
She's just turned 8. She's never been to the ballpark when I did a game just because her older brother's not into baseball.
Sometimes it's not. I wasn't before I played high school, so
Yep.
as Bach falls behind 2-0 here to Drew Lawrence, we've seen Drew square around once for a bunt, and this is a time to do it. You got runners on first and second. Lawrence is quick, so even if it's a play up the middle and it gets over the pitcher's head, he could make that play to first base as Bach comes set, and it's fouled back in our direction here. But that one will miss that little lip there, Neil, and back right out. Almost right to Bach there, halfway to him. And that'll be strike one against Drew Lawrence.
Curious to see how many baseballs you guys go through on a nightly basis here, too, just because I know that here in London they get to keep them as souvenir. I think every other ballpark in the league, they ask for them back. But actually at the Royals games now, we've actually got a little treat for the kids. If they turn them in now, they can actually get pitch photographs. We did action shots of various things. We got Dalton Pompey. We got Claudio Custodio. We had Sean Riley. We had one of Malik Collymore and everything else. Just they can go. They turn the baseball and they can get a photograph from Jordan. We got printed off, and then of course after the game they get it signed by whatever player it was.
And we got to give Gar.
Gar is a lifesaver.
Gar is the my baseball dad, I call him here. Him and I have had multiple talks. Even I talked to him before the season. It's like, Gar, this is going to be a good year. You're back. I can come see you. It's going to be exciting.
Yep. Gar and my parents go back. My parents are, of course, photographers in the Royal City. And Gar actually worked for them doing a bunch of weddings way back when I was a younger kid. Before Gar got into paramedics and everything else. This one's hit by Jean. He'll flip the first in time, and there's 2 away.
And unfortunately, that one's placed perfectly for Jean on that one. If you're the Majors, Drew wasn't far off on the step there as he was able to get down the line quick, but unfortunately is out by about half a step. With 2 out here for Dan Perrier, Robert Mullen at third base, and you can see him hands on the hips like, okay, I'm here now, but let's get me home.
Yep. It's like, hi, guys, don't leave me stranded out here.
And the thing is, he's the catcher, so now he's got to go back in if it's an out and get changed quick to get back out here with all that gear on. As Dan will rip that one, bounced hard up the third base line, and he'll be thrown out at first base, and Robert Mullen unfortunately has to go throw that gear back on after being stranded at third base here. And we'll head to commercial here on Majors TV. The Majors lead 6-0 after 5.
Do you know where your food comes from? Like where it really comes from? It comes from farms, farmers, and their families. At Healthy Eats, we believe if we wouldn't serve it to our families, we wouldn't serve it to yours. From farm to folks, we do things the way they're meant to be.
Here we go.
Believe me, you've never heard a talk show like this.
I'm sleeping with Joe Carter. By the way, Joe did not touch the ball.
Yeah, I have to say, like, your voice is fantastic.
Meet Smitty.
Listen, I'm the brains here.
And Mitty.
And I'm the good looking funny one.
This is the Smitty Mitty Show.
Catch new episodes of the Smitty and Mitty Show wherever you get your podcasts. Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home. Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and athletes. Whether it's the London Knights, Nationals, or Lightning, or even your London Majors, Game Day London has you covered. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com. Game Day London, a proud sponsor of your London Majors.
And as the Dizzy Bat race finishes up here on Majors TV, and they all go, or one of them hits the field here. Jose Arias has thrown his warm-up pitches. Robert Mullen walking to the plate here after Eric McLennan caught the warm-up. We'll see the Majors come back to the field here on the defensive side, the very strong defense side we've seen.
No question.
Only 2 hits. There could be a lot more the way the Majors.
It's been a highlight reel after highlight reel out here on the defense here.
Exactly. Hamilton has been held to 2 hits. I could probably give you 3 more.
3, maybe 4?
Maybe even 4. But the Majors defense, especially the second baseman, Jacob Newton, and third baseman, Taylor Wright, have thrown darts to first base. And they've tracked balls. Jacob Newton, we had one where he was standing in basically right field on the foul line and threw a runner out with Dan Perrier.
Yep. Top of that, well, the second batter in the order will be for the Cardinals to lead off. Louis Jean will lead things off. The shortstop, he's 1 for 2. Double and got left at got thrown out going home on the attempted steal of home in the first inning. And it went hard to Newton at second base in the third inning.
And it looks like we have a new left fielder, and I believe it's Chris McQueen into the game now. I'm still waiting to get full confirmation on that one for left field on that one, but we'll get that one to you. It looks to be McQueen who's back in the lineup here as Lawrence comes out, but we will get you that as soon as possible. And I can confirm it is Chris McQueen out in left field now. McQueen has entered into the game for Drew Lawrence. So he'll come in, he'll bat, I believe it's the 8th position for the Majors now.
6.
6. I apologize, 6.
Louis Jean is a very tough out. Plus, he crowds the plate here. So if you're anybody like any pitcher likes to go inside, he takes it away on you. So he gets that one off the hands there. Extends himself and fouls that one way away here.
And we saw him earlier. He was the one that tried to steal home plate on that one. It's a good play, especially early on. Make sure the Majors know that you're someone that's going to run and you're not going to want to miss anything on that one. As Jean fouls that one off towards the Hamilton dugout off the screen, as he's now behind 0-2 against Jose Arias, who in this game has dominated. He has 6 strikeouts in 19 batters faced so far in this game. That's incredible for Arias. I believe his career high in for the Majors is 13. And we'll see if he goes around. Jeff Rose says no. It'll bring the count to 1-2 on that one. And we love seeing all the comments here in the chat as I get a chance to check it. As that one's bounced to third base. And Taylor Wright, it's like clockwork over there for him. You don't even see it out of the hand. It's over at first base before you even have a chance to remember that Taylor Wright's over there at third base. And I should update you, Jackie's not in Texas.
No?
Jackie, it's good to see you're back here. Good weather in Mexico City.
Oh, okay.
Jackie, you know what? I feel like we can say that we have some very warm weather, humid weather here tonight as well. Maybe not as warm as Mexico City, but it's good to see you're still following where you travel to. Hopefully we see Anderson in a game or two soon here as Jose Arias puts that one in there for strike one. One out in the inning, top six, I should say.
Duncan's 0 for 2. He struck out and grounded out 5-3.
As that one misses high and outside for ball one. 1-1.
You should almost play smooth operated by Sade when Taylor Wright gets the ball across the diamond.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong on that one. As Duncan will look for this one, and he fouls that one off.
Loudly.
Thankfully, it looks like it missed the fans into a little bit of a dead spot in the fans there. And that one fouled hard up, and it rolls all the way down. A little bit play-by-play here of a foul ball. You don't see that often. But that one rolls all the way down the stands there.
Almost like a slinky.
Almost like a slinky. Yeah, we'll call it that one. That's one thing with the concrete stands there as Jose Arias strikes out another victim here in the inning.
Arias is definitely dialed in tonight. That's the best way to put it. He had a shaky great first inning, a shaky second inning. Just couldn't get the ball over when he needed to. Got an error, got a walk behind him.
You have to remember, Neil, and I'm not, putting stats into you overall. If you include the pennant game, over 100 innings.
Yep.
So he's had 7 days off after pitching a 100-inning season. And as that one's grounded out to Jacob Newton there. And just like Taylor Wright, we'll call it Jacob Newton with a easy throw over to Dan Perrier. And that's the inning for the Majors. 1-2-3 go the Cardinals. And the Majors will look to continue to add to their lead. Only 8 hits now. We talked about this early on in the game. There was 5 runs on 2 hits.
Yep.
This looks a little bit better now when you look at it. We'll bring it up here for all the fans to see here. 6 runs on 8 hits.
Yep.
That makes you feel a little bit better though in this game so far.
And Bonacorso just couldn't find the strike zone early. He was a little bit wild with the control. Taylor Wright hit him up in this first pitch of the at-bat and the second batter in the game for a 2-run homer. Brownlee got hit by a pitch. Robert Mullen walked. He stole third. Drew Lawrence had a single and RBI. Dan Perrier and, of course, Austin Wilkie got hit by the pitch. They sent 9 batters to the plate in the first inning, but things just didn't turn out that way. And it's a rough inning for Michael Bonacorso, and that's really the difference in the ballgame. That's 5 runs across in the first inning on 3 hits.
And Neil, I've just been pointed out by our good pal over here, one of the best in the business to call baseball games, Eric Collins here. He is informed me, and I'm going to bring it up here for you to see here as well. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to look over on the screen here. Toronto is winning.
Toronto's winning now.
Toronto has put up another 3 spot on the Jackfish. They're up 11-9 on the Jackfish here.
The Maple Leafs are one of those teams that once they get the bats going, they're dangerous.
They are a very dangerous team, and you know what? I'm going to say this. I would love to see a rematch.
I think I would actually make the trek down to watch one of those games.
Well, maybe we'll have to have you up here.
Yeah.
We might have to have you as a third guy.
I don't know if I can go to Christie Pitts anymore. I loved working there and everything else, but just, I don't know. Since Jack's not been there, I just it wouldn't feel the same to me.
I will say Ryan Eakin over there, I've had some conversations with him. He's done a really good job on the media side. Their broadcast has been, I'll give them top 3. You know, it's getting up there.
It's getting there.
They're putting, it's what I've said earlier. The league is investing in media.
Yep.
And they have invested in their broadcast. It's very hard to do a broadcast there.
No question is.
I will give Eakin, I will tap him on the back and say it's very hard to do a broadcast there when you're 100 feet away from.
Well, you're 100 feet away from. You're on top of the hill and you're underneath the tent.
Exactly. So good on them. They're doing well. Maybe, I might even make a trip down there if we see them in the finals.
Yep.
As we go bottom 6 here, Austin Wilkie at the plate here. Still Spencer Bach out there on the mound. He's done incredible for the Cardinals. As that one comes in, Wilkie a little gun shy on that one, as he has already been hit by a pitch once in the shoulder area, we'll call it, the upper shoulder
maybe?
collar. Yeah, those start to hurt no matter how hard you're hit. As he lines that one into the outfield.
And Duncan reels that one in again. Tyler Duncan is going to be one of those guys that people down the road here are going to be talking about. I can just say it right now.
And you know what? We talked earlier a little bit. I don't know if it was on camera or not. A young team in Hamilton.
Oh, no question.
You don't count this team out next year, the year after.
If they've got the nucleus here now, they've got the backbone here now. If they can build on it next year and then get some more people interested in playing baseball in Hamilton, they're going to turn some heads.
You know what they need? What every other team builds on.
Yep.
They need pitching.
Yeah.
And I'm not taking anything away from Spencer Bach tonight, who's put on a performance against his former team. This might be hey, I'm coming back to get you here.
No, at the same time, I think he's just been called upon and put in a situation where he's getting more and more comfortable as the inning goes on.
And we talk about it coming back to his former building that he would pitch in, as Keith Candell is going to drop that one in right in there in front of the right fielder. That's a little gimme poke there as Candell gets that one in.
And I'm glad Keith Candell does this to other teams other than just against Guelph. Honestly, because some days I'm just like, he just likes to beat us.
You know what? And you mentioned, I believe it was Duncan,
Yep.
is the Guelph killer
Yep.
on Hamilton. And I won't say Keith's a Guelph killer or, any killer, but
he finds a way on base at least twice a game.
And that's what you need. This team from 1 to 9 can hit home runs.
Yep.
Even on the bench, there's home run power. But Keith Candell finds a way on base no matter what it is. He will bunt his way on. He will drop a little bloop that we just saw drop in there, and he does his thing. As Jacob Newton comes to the plate here, and Bach just misses with that high curve.
Newton 1 for 2. He's also walked and scored a pair of runs. He's got a double. Hit a loud out to right field in the second.
And
Candell.
Apologize on that one, Neil. Didn't mean to speak over you there. We were both looking at Keith there as he slides in once again head first there as the throw is over Luis Jean at second base there, and that'll move Keith up on an 0-2 count to Jacob Newton. Great counter run on there if you're Newton. Or if you're Candell, sorry. That's a great counter run on, because now he's got to focus right in on the batter and get an out here no matter what is. There's only one out in the inning.
In the back of the mind, you think the Majors probably also know, hey, Burnside threw 4 innings this week, so his arm can't be that in that great of shape, too.
Yeah, and we've seen him throw a guy out. He did throw Austin Wilkie out with a great throw to second base there.
Of course, Burnside, the Ottawa native, came back here and played back. I think it was with the Cardinals last year or the year before. He came back just before the signing deadline and came back and just helped bolster this team up a little bit and pushed the Cardinals in the right direction heading into the postseason.
As that one drops in there for strike number 2 on that one. And I have to say, Neil, you know what? I'm going to be biased. There's nowhere I'd rather be on a Saturday night.
No, it's definitely a It's a great place to be at the ballpark anyways.
You know, Newton will lip that one right through that 3-4 hole, and Keith Candell is going to come screaming down the field, and Newton will be thrown out, unfortunately, at second base, looking to make sure that that run comes in. But Keith Candell comes in on the single by Jacob Newton, thrown out at second base. Majors take a 7-0 lead here. 11 hits in the game so far.
Put-out goes 9-3-6 if you're scoring at home.
9-3-6. That's not normal. We'll say that.
That's not normal, because it was cut off by the first baseman. He cut it off, and he threw to the shortstop. And
Taylor Wright, who has been dominant so far, he has on both sides of the ball. I say it all the time. Taylor Wright is a professional baseball player. He hits hard, he plays defense the right way, and when he has anything that comes against him, errors, strikes that he missed, he thinks about it for the split second, thinks, I'm going to remember that for practice, I'm not going to do that again.
Mm-hmm.
Comes out the next day for practice, but as soon as that's over in this game, he's going to come out and make up for it. And we've seen him do that all year. Even when he was with the Ottawa Titans for some time, he's done his job all year. As that one just misses high and outside for ball one on that one.
Right, of course, homered in the first, walked in the second, singled and scored another RBI in the fourth.
I think the city might have to take a look at that fence after this game, though, as he will ground out to the first baseman here, just off the line. And that'll be it for this inning. Spencer Bach has done incredible so far. Only one run in the inning. As we'll head to break here, Majors lead 7-0 through 6 innings. And this is what the Majors want if you're in this game, game one of the semifinals. Hamilton, London from Labatt Memorial Park.
My name's Tiffany Creasy, and I take care of the sales and marketing at Rickard Promotions and Recognition. Some of the things that we do at Rickard Promotions and Recognition is we bring your brand to life. We kind of put your logo on anything that you can give away or brand, and we can service clients right across Canada. At Rickard Promotions and Recognition, we can take care of your designing of your logo for any artwork that you need done for the branding. And a lot of people don't realize we can do that here. We also have our in-house production that we take care of your order from start to finish right here at our one location. So with keeping everything in-house from graphic design to in-house production, we're able to get you your order a lot quicker with a faster turnaround time. We'll help gather your ideas together, give you some options to kind of narrow down the search for you, whether it be from your apparel to promotional products. And from there, we'll get your mock-ups done, proofs done, order done, and the quality control is right there all along the way for you.
So tell me where it hides. I know I got some lightning currents running through me. I found that silver lining on the inside of me. Yeah.
And we are back here. Like I said earlier, Neil, not a better place to view a baseball game. I don't get many chances to sit up here. Like I said, I'm down on the field most games. Looking at this shot, you see the London skyline. You see the new apartment buildings going up. More apartment buildings going up, but it's still a beautiful skyline.
I'm gonna have to dig out the picture that I took the first time I ever came to this ballpark in 1992, and it's just like
black and white.
No, it's not black and white, but it was the first time I was a bat boy with the Guelph Royals. That's how I actually got my start with the Royals. Billy Craven, God bless his soul and everything else. I was his paper boy for a couple of months, and he's like, "You're the guys that always jump over the fence at Hastings Stadium." Because we didn't know they didn't charge kids, so we always jump over. And of course, over time, we'd also jump over and take batting practice and everything else, and got known by the city park staff. The one guy, we always called him the Bullfrog because he was just a big, burly guy with no hair and just was like, "Get off the field," like really deep voice, scaring the crap out of us. And Billy got wise to it and was like, "Next time, tell the Bullfrog I gave you the keys."
That's always a good one to remember. And you know what, Neil? That's something that this league has that not a lot of people can remember, is the stories of the kids that grew up in this league like yourself. I know there's people around up here Dylan, when he started, was 13, and he's 16. Imagine the stories he's going to be able to tell. As that ball's ripped, and that one's going to carry over the wall.
And Ryan Burnside does it again here.
And Burnside puts the Cardinals on the board right away here to start the inning. 7-1 for London as Burnside drives that one, almost hitting the scoreboard here, and that puts the Cardinals on the board here. You know, if you're Jose Arias, you put that one in the memory bank and say, okay, don't throw that pitch there.
No, exactly. And Burnside is one of those hitters that if you get him something in the zone, he's going to make you pay for it. And he got it in there, and it just maybe too good of a pitch there.
Sometimes that happens. Too good of a pitch and a good batter, that always happens.
As Jeremy Veilleux fouls that one away. Veilleux came into action leading the team with a 312 average. Second in the team. Luis John, of course, leading the team. Batting .450 in the postseason right now. Jeez.
Oof. Those are some high numbers. And we continue to watch the out-of-town scoreboard, Neil. Only the other game. That's the only it. It's us and one more.
Well, you know you've done your job when there's only one other game in town.
And it's 11-10. It is a back-and-forth show. Connor Lewis is on the plate here with none out, 2 on here, facing another former Major, Chris Boito.
Yep.
He's pitching for the Welland Jackfish here.
You say Connor Lewis in this park, and I wonder if it draws some attention here.
I don't know if it...
If it's a famous thing. And of course, I was working for them that night, actually. I remember I had the story all written, ready to hit the send button to Toronto Sun, and then Lewis does the unthinkable. The 8th inning, if I'm not mistaken, hit it off the light pole, if I'm not mistaken.
Off the light pole.
Yeah.
Well, I will let you know, from what I've been told, there is some remodels coming this winter, and those light poles will not be there. So Connor Lewis will not be able to hit that light pole again. We will see some new upgrades.
It was just such a weird thing that Connor Lewis, of all the guys on that Maple Leaf team that was back then, he's the one that hit the ball. And then, of course, the Majors were winning. I think it was Game 7 of that series, wasn't it?
I'm not even sure. It might have been before I was around. As Jose Arias gets another strikeout here. We talk about how Neil and I are talking up here. We talk good stories, but we always got to remember the baseball game.
There is
as
a
well.
baseball game going on as well, and Jacob Underwood's now the batter. He's 0 for 1. Walked and flew it to the right fielder.
A little pick and stick there by Robert Mullen on a ball that bounced 6 feet in front of the plate there. Great backstop. He is one of the top catchers in the IBL and can pick a ball
no question.
6 feet out in front of him, and he's still able to pick it.
And honestly, I didn't know who Robert Mullen was at the beginning of the season. I did not know.
I think if you just say our Mullen,
yeah,
I think you'll know who that one is now.
Yep.
I think most of the league will know who that one is.
And Art Ward correcting us on here too. Thank you so much, Art, for that. Appreciate that one.
Jean.
Okay, thank you.
We apologize there.
Thanks, Art.
Art Ward, another incredible photographer. As Keith Candell is going to ground that or get that one there. Throw over to Dan Perrier there at first base. Keith Candell with another defensive arm. The Majors defense, I can talk about it over and over and over again. It is incredible. One error. I don't think there's been multiple games this year that I can count where there's been no errors.
Yep.
How many other teams can you say there's been no errors in multiple games? In a row.
I know the Royals at one point, I think we went 3 or 4, but that was just beginning. We didn't make a lot of errors at the beginning of the season, and then later in the season, I think things caught up to us and everything else. Guys got a little too aggressive. Different guys playing different positions. Of course, we had
the Heat.
Josh Garton was out of the lineup. Justin Terrasano was out of the lineup. We had guys playing out of position, and it was just like things happen.
And you know what? The Majors, you talk about versatility. Roop Chanderdat has done an incredible job with that. Taylor Wright can play every position, third, second. I haven't seen him play second. I've seen him play short, I should say.
As Pappas fouls this one away, and the count is now 1-2.
And I watched a little guy down there. I will give him credit. He just stood there and watched that ball, and it landed about 2 feet from him.
Didn't flinch.
Didn't even flinch. He read that ball in
He's been watching baseball grandma behind the plate at the Rogers Center.
Exactly. He's been watching the home plate lady there at the Sky Dome, I'm going to call it there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well.
That is, I grew up with the Sky Dome. It'll always be the Sky Dome. That's something if Rogers is going to do.
Yeah. Do you remember the song?
No, I don't remember their song.
I don't remember Sky Dome as its name?
No.
Where Blue Jays and Argos play?
No, and I remember the Argos playing there 1 year. That's
I'm really
my
dating
age.
myself.
You're dating yourself here a little bit, as that one's gonna fly out.
All right, fans, go to Google, go to YouTube afterwards, and go look at the Sky Dome song.
As Austin Wilkie will make the catch, and Jose Arias is through 7, 1 run on the inning for him. As we take the walk, the stretch, everyone's gonna be standing here in beautiful Labatt Memorial Park. Neil, I know my knees, and I'm only 27, my knees starting to tighten up after 7 innings.
At least you can actually stand up in your press box. There's no room in ours to do anything, so it's just like you kind of just deal with it, and you get up in the 9th inning and go, wow, my feet are just gone.
Yep, and you know what? Noah and I have made the trip to Guelph. Noah's first year, we made the trip there, and he was there he actually brought a table up there. And he sat just to your right on a table.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'll give it. The chairs are comfortable.
Yep.
But the space, I don't know about the space. It's a beautiful park.
Well, when you messaged me that one day, I was like, please tell me they're not broadcasting here because I don't know where we're going to stick them.
You know what? We're going to set everything up. All of this, you haven't seen this till this season.
Yep.
And we've even added on this season.
Well, when I came here the first time this year, I was like, I got on the phone to our owner. I was like, have you seen this setup? Like, I took pictures of everything. I was like, Dear Santa, can I have this next year?
Can I put a few things on that list too, and we'll just trade along?
Yeah, exactly.
And unfortunately, like we said, folks, we're not going to be on camera tonight. Neil and I not want to see us. We're not knowing Dylan.
No.
Dylan with the hair.
That hair, my goodness!
The
how much product does that kid put in that hair?
I can't tell you.
He needs a spokesmanship or a sponsorship from L'Oreal.
Hey, we might have to get him one. If you're listening, L'Oreal, if you're listening, anybody that has hair product, you got to get on Dylan Baker. That face is going to be on Sportsnet soon.
Oh, no question.
You know what? He's talked about where he wants to go for college. He's talked about Ryerson.
Him and I talked the night when I was up here, and I was just like, if I could do anything to help him out, I would definitely try to.
Yeah, he's going to do well, and, he's going to be somebody that's going to go far.
We got a new pitcher on the mound, too.
We do, and I'm not sure. You're going to have to give me a name on that one. I'm not able to pick that up there. As I work here on our cameras, that's one thing that I will say is we do have the best camera setup in the league, but...
Yeah, you got me jealous some days.
Well, I will say that this one here that I'm working on right now is one of my personal business cameras, so...
I'm trying to see who it is. It's either Dory Torres or it's...
28 will be our pitcher now. As I help you out here, I have to give you the number there.
Eric's got the lineup card down there, so we'll have to see. Actually, I can probably bring it up on my phone anyways.
This is the joys of having two guys up here, folks. Sometimes, it's not as quick as Noah and Dylan, but we try our best to bring you the action from Labatt Memorial Park.
Is it 28?
28 will be our pitcher here.
Pitcher is John Felice. John Felice is now the pitcher.
And our batter, none other than the league leader in RBIs here, Cleveland Brownlee, will come to the plate here.
Last time I was here, Cleveland came over and said, Neil, I'm still on a base today. I'm just like, what? No.
You know what, Neil? Don't let him fool you. I know our good friends over at Classic Rock. He fools them all the time.
He was yelling at me at first base, like, I'm still on a base today. I'm like, no.
He gives the guys at Classic Rock the, hey, I'm going to steal the base run here. But I don't think I've ever seen him since steal a base in a few years here.
John Felice is the pitcher on their hill now. As he'll face Cleveland Brownlee here. Brownlee takes ball number 1.
1-1 count for Brownlee. That first one he tried to absolutely swing and put in the river there. And I am being told there was a stolen base given to him a few games ago.
It wasn't against me here, but maybe he just meant to say, I'm going to steal one eventually, but not against you.
As that one's popped up in the infield. Cleveland not happy with himself.
That's going to be trouble.
And it's trouble for Hamilton Cardinals. 5, sorry. I've got one in behind the pole here in front of me. 5 Hamilton Cardinals unable to make the play. And it drops about 7 feet, 8 feet off home plate.
And Cleveland Brownlee gets himself an infield single here, and it's not going to matter when he tells the story many years down the road, or Cleveland Jr. says the story to somebody down there. My dad got a hit that night.
Yep, and you know what? It's not how far it goes.
Nope.
It's as long as it touches the ground.
Yep.
As we'll see a pinch runner here for Cleveland Brownlee coming out of the game, and that'll be switch hitter Gibson Kreminski, who comes into this game here. He'll DH now for the rest of this game. Get Cleveland off his feet. Game tomorrow. You want to get Cleveland out. Give them some time to relax. That's the one thing with playoffs, and you got a big turnaround right away. You want to have guys that are able to take those times off. Gibson Kreminski got a lot of speed over there at first base here. As that one will sneak in there on the inside corner for strike number 1 on Robert Mullen. As that ball is thrown away into center field over the pitcher into center field, and Kreminski takes second base there. Close play.
E2.
An E2 on that one. On the throwing error. So runners now at second base there, an 0-1 count on Robert Mullen.
Just the second error of the ball game.
1 error apiece on this game here as Mullen swings through that one.
He definitely was dialed in on that swing. He definitely wanted to put it.
He was looking to go a little far on that one. As Kreminski still tries to get a little loose out there. First right up into the game, and he's taken off. And Robert Mullen crushes that ball out to right or left field. Kreminski will come around to score. The play at second base, or the throw in left field, will be held on the dirt. Robert Mullen comes in and drives a ball off the outfield Kudoba sign for a hit there. Kreminski comes in to score. Majors now lead 8-0. 12 hits in the game so far. Majors have absolutely dominated the Cardinals pitching for what they have. I got to give it to them. They've held their check.
They definitely have. Just the one bad inning in the first. They got 5 in that inning, and it's just since then the Cardinals pitching staff have just been doing a lot of damage control.
And I should be mistaken. I have been
It's 8-1.
corrected by multiple people now, Mr. Neal. It's 8-1 Majors here.
I figured that. I was going to let that one slide. I was going to try to slide it back in there and correct the score without making anybody feel bad.
No, I deserve the field bet on that one. As Starling Joseph swings through that one here. Like I said, I'm not a top broadcaster here by any means.
Nope.
You know, we have the luxury of Noah and Dylan up here. You know, beautiful hair and all.
I tell you, when Dylan Baker goes somewhere, it's just going to be great for the league and just the London Majors in general and everything else. You look back at how these guys get their start here as far as stuff like that, and you look at even the guys in Barrie too, and as far as that stuff goes, look at what they're doing now.
Well, and I'll tell you another one, Miles Miller, who's a player for the London Majors in 2019. He went on to sign a contract with Seattle, now playing for Trois-Rivières in the Frontier League. But this league just keeps developing, and that's what this league needs to do, as that one's fouled off at home plate, keeping Joseph alive as it was unable to be held on. But
I know, with you talk about the Frontier League and everything else, there's some, I guess we're going to have to make some rule changes or some exceptions in the off season as collectively as a league to, you know, give some guys some flexibility, because that's what Garrett took him out to when he came back and everything else. He came back after the deadline and everything else. He was never technically off the the roster, but of course, the league rules and everything else, he signed with another team.
And that one's trouble as that'll drop for Starling Joseph. And that looked like a Bermuda Triangle as that one will most likely be scored a hit on that one. As that one
actually will be a base hit. And just
base hit for Starling Joseph. The Majors continue to add hits. Runners on the corners now.
13th hit of the ball game now it's 8-1 now. And it's just some miscommunication and maybe some, maybe it's just a loud park here too and everything else. And the crowd at that time was making lots of noise, so the second baseman and the right fielder couldn't hear each other, so they both backed off on that baseball.
Yeah, and we will take a look here. We have a Chris McQueen coming to the plate here. We're going to have a little meeting on the mound, though. You know what? You got to give the pitcher out there. He hasn't. What's happened hasn't been his fault.
No.
He's done his job. Besides Robert Mullins' crushing double off the outfield wall, and you get a good look at Mullen there. As time's called, he's trying to get the third baseman there, trying to get him in trouble there. But time was called, so he can't get in trouble too much there.
Yeah.
Chris McQueen now will come to the plate. The left fielder, another versatile option for the Majors. I've seen Chris, since my time with the Majors, play a little bit of third, second, center field, now left field. That's what this league is all about. How many positions can you play? Can you even pitch?
Oh, exactly. Like, you never know. Like game 3, I was shocked. Ryan Burnside on the mound. I'm like, okay.
And he did his work. He pitched well, and that's exactly what this league is all about. A lot of talent.
And some guys are just like, hey, coach, put me in here, and I'll eat up an inning. Keith Candell,
Taylor Wright. They both pitched in Kitchener there.
Yep.
Taylor. Actually, we should give Keith a little shout out. Keith, we talk about your defense. Keith Candell actually has a save.
He does.
In the IBL against.
I remember texting him after he got that. It was like,
Hamilton Cardinals.
I'm never going to live this one down, am I?
No, and you know what? I remember it. I still have the photos. He pulled the old Fernando Rodney with the bow and arrow, and I'll never forget Dylan's call. I'm not sure who he was doing the game with. He wasn't doing it with Noah, but it was fire that bow and arrow. Keith Candell, you've got your first save, and Chris McQueen's got his first hit in the game. Chris lines one into left field, bringing Robert Mullen in. The Majors have a 9-1 lead here on the Cardinals with the 15th or 14th hit of the game, I believe. 15?
14.
14 hits in the game here.
And I'm sure the Majors are probably going station to station from this point out as well, too. It's 9-1 now.
Yep, and that's one of the unwritten rules you look in baseball. Unwritten rule. There's a lot of gamesmanship in this game. No matter what level you're at, you go station to station. You still got to play the game the right way, but you respect your opponent.
Oh, exactly. I mean, when we had the blowout on Wednesday night, we got to that certain score, and it was just like neither team mentioned on their social media what the score was anymore. We went to the ninth inning. We're leading by a sufficient number.
Yep. And
it was just like, out of respect, and we didn't. I was hesitant to even post the final score post we always do on social media, just because again, it's like. You don't want to rub it in their face.
And I don't know if you saw that. I'm glad our friend at Rogers, Chris Burke isn't watching. He would have had the flinch cam on me there. I had a big flinch on that one there. As that one's dropped in there, ball 2 on the count here for Dan Perrier.
Just 1-1 actually.
1-1. I apologize. I was getting ahead of myself there.
You're gonna mess poor Sue up down the line here.
Can't do that. Sue's one of the great in the business. She does an incredible job up here. Eric Collins, Dave Woody. I know you're watching, buddy. I'm pretty sure you're watching. I don't know what you're doing. I think you're actually calling the Western Mustangs game, but does an incredible job. As that one will be a fielder's choice there, basically on that one. As that one could have been a play at second base in turn 2, but Dan Perry will be out at first base. Chris McQueen moves up to second base. And you have Phil Whalen making his pinch hit for the Majors here. And Phil will come in for Austin Wilkie here in the game.
Well, he's got 4 at-bats so far in the postseason, by the looks of it. Or 5 at-bats, anyways.
And as you watch Starling take a little dance there at third base, Chris McQueen on second. Whalen has been another versatile option for the Majors. Left, center, first. I think I've seen him play some second. That's what, if you're going to be on the bench for the Majors, be ready to play in any position at any time.
Every team in this league definitely needs those role players that can step in and say, hey, coach, you got somebody needs a night off, or somebody needs a night off, or somebody got to work late or something like that. And, sure enough, your number gets called.
Yeah, and this is a working man's league. We got to remember that no matter where you are, on the field, up in the press box, it's a working man's league. And that's what everybody seems to forget sometimes.
Yep.
Everyone here works, and we all work hard to bring games, the entertainment value up in this league. As Whalen slices that one off the stands here into our right. And we get a look here at second base. Nobody holding that line. Whalen could just drive one down that and could probably run for days on that. Maybe even get to third. I know he's got some speed when it comes to his running capabilities.
That Maple Leaf and Whalen game is now in the top of the ninth inning. It's still 11-10 for the Maple Leafs over the Whalen Jackfish.
As that one gets away from Ryan Burnside, a good block, but unfortunately bounces to his right there. No one moves up on that one as it wasn't far enough for anybody to get away. A 1-2 count for Whalen.
I think tonight the hype and everything else, the roller coaster highs from last night have caught up with the Cardinals a little bit here as far as the bats go, but you can't take anything away either from the London Majors defense as well. They've definitely robbed some hits in the infield and just made some great plays when they had to.
And I know there's been a few comments, and I will officially apologize on this one. We're trying to bring every spot in this action to everybody, and sometimes we miss one. As Phil Whalen lines that one
down the line for a fair ball,
and McQueen and Joseph will come around, and Whalen will make the big turn at second base, but will come and stand there. A big double for Whalen as he absolutely lined that one, as you see McQueen and Joseph come in to home plate.
He did a good job of sticking with that pitch and took it the other way here, or pulled it down the line.
As Keith Candell will come to the plate here. 11 runs for the Majors, 15 hits so far in this game. And Whalen standing out there on second base as another run, as that one's dropped in there for a strike.
Candell having another Keith Candell night here. He's 2 for 3. He hits this one to third. Underwood watches the second baseman or runner at second back to first before he throws across the diamond to get Candell. And there's 2 away.
2 away for the Majors. And Neil, I know you don't see every Majors game. I know you're not, you usually have the Guelph Royals games, especially when we're out of town. The Majors are one of the best teams I've watched that hit with 2 outs. Most of our runs, especially, Dylan Baker would be able to pull this number up for me just like that. But they have, I believe it was something like, I want to say over 60% of their runs last year came with 2 out. Now, don't quote me on the number. I'm not going to give you an ultimatum on that number, as that one's flied out of play here.
And that's the difference between a lot of teams. If you can get the runs with 2 outs rather than not get the runs with 2 outs, you get further in the playoffs.
Exactly. And that's when can you come up clutch?
As Newton fouls that one away.
Another great batter for the Majors here. And he's going to line that one, and it's going to drop and take a bad hop. As Whalen's coming in, Newton will make his way to second base, and that one took a bad hop there on the right fielder. Either way, it was going to be a base hit. Whalen will come around on the play. Newton having himself an incredible game here. Pulling up the stats here. Newton, that'll make him 3 for 4 on the night. Only 1 RBI. We'll give him that, but also a walk.
2 RBIs, actually.
2 RBIs. Sorry, 2 RBIs with that one. As we get a look into the Majors bullpen, Daniel Gore warming up for the Majors on the mound. And you see the protection squad. We've named them, folks. The protection squad out there. It's usually, you know, Bo Lewington, the back or the catcher that's not in this game. And then whoever else is down in the bullpen, you may see Braden Farrington down there, as that one's in for a strike on Taylor Wright. Newton standing out at second base for him there. And the protection squad, we see it, you know, if with our capabilities, we get multiple cameras most night. You get a great shot of them. Nothing's getting through of them. Nothing's going to hit that pitcher warming up. As that one drops in there for strike 2 on Taylor Wright. He hasn't been in this situation often, but when he does, you know, he's usually able to lengthen this bat or this at bat out and run it to hopefully a full count and work his way through. And he's going to strike out on that one. A high strikeout will have the Majors down, but they add a few more here in the inning.
5 runs on 6 hits. There was 1 error, and 1 man was left on base. 12-1 as we head to the top of the 8th inning here at Labatt Memorial Park.
And we'll come right back here to the Game Day London press box with new arms coming into the game, new catcher, and a whole lot of changes for the London Majors here. We'll be back with Majors TV.
My name's Tiffany Creasy, and I take care of the sales and marketing at Rickard Promotions and Recognition. Some of the things that we do at Rickard Promotions and Recognition is we bring your brand to life. We kind of put your logo on anything that you can give away or brand, and we can service clients right across Canada. At Rickard Promotions and Recognition, we can take care of your designing of your logo for any artwork that you need done for the branding. And a lot of people don't realize we can do that here. We also have our in-house production that we take care of your order from start to finish right here at our one location. So with keeping everything in-house from graphic design to in-house production, we're able to get you your order a lot quicker with a faster turnaround time. We'll help gather your ideas together, give you some options to kind of narrow down the search for you, whether it be from your apparel to promotional products. And from there, we'll get your mock-ups done, proofs done, order done, and the quality control is right there all along the way for you.
So tell me where it hides. I know I got some lightning currents running through me. I found that silver lining on the inside of me. Yeah.
And we're back here in beautiful Labatt Memorial Park as you take a look, the new catcher, and we'll go and a new look at the new pitcher as well. Kieran Bowles in behind the plate, Daniel Gore on the mound for the Majors. The duo, they've been warming up since the Majors started the bottom of the 7th. They're both in this game now. Phil Whalen stays in the game and center field. Everything else stays the same for the Majors as the changes for preparing for tomorrow's game. It's a 2 o'clock game, so we want to make sure everyone's rested, the starters, before this game gets too far into the night. You don't want a midnight game here by any means. We're moving quite along here, 10-10. That's, you know, I will say my good pals Noah and Dylan will be quite jealous of us. Usually when they're calling the games, it's a 3-hour game. We're still chugging along here as Daniel Gore chucks that one in for strike 1. And I have to double check this here. I overheard Eric Collins saying this, 15-10 in Welland, top 9. none out. Brandon Underhill on the mound. It's been looks like Marcus Connect has a home run in this game for the Toronto Maple Leafs, as Newton will get behind that one and throw to Dan Perry, pulling him off the bag, unfortunately, but will still make the grab and tag the runner out, running up the baseline. Majors will get through that one. A little unscathed, not exactly what you want to see, but they get through it.
Sometimes it's not the prettiest play, but it gets the job done.
Just what we're doing, right?
Yeah, you know.
Not the prettiest job, but we're getting it done, and the fans are enjoying it on Majors TV here on YouTube.
I think the term is we're getting by.
Getting by? Is that what we'll call it?
We're getting by.
132 people.
That's not a bad night. There we go.
Enjoying it. I know during the pennant game we had over 500.
That's great.
And I'm not even going to call them Majors fans. Those were IBL fans. They wanted to see this game in this. I believe our peak was about 509 people.
Last night, I know on YouTube, I think we were around 209. On my Twitter channel, the Royals Twitter page.
Yep.
I think we were about 43. And over my Twitch, I think I peaked at 162.
Okay, so you're getting the numbers out there. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And that's all about growing the league media.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And that's you're going to hear us repeat that over and over. Noah Dillon, they plug our social media every time. It doesn't matter where it is. It's how well you put the content out there. As Daniel Gore falls behind 3-0 in this game.
Or this inning, this batter to Dennis Day Banning here.
Dennis Day Banning.
He's one guy in the lineup. I'm surprised they haven't been going so far yet, but.
And he'll take a walk. Daniel Gore pitches four balls all on the inside, and that'll put a runner on first base here. And I got to give my buddy Spencer Tange, one of the other play-by-play guys here. He's done a lot for the Jackfish up there.
Yeah, he has.
I love seeing him. He's up there he's up there calling the game. Sounds like he might even have you and I on in his ear too. Spencer, if you're listening, you're doing a lot more than I am up there. If you're able to call a game and listen to Neil and I talk,
he's multitasking.
You got. I need whatever your power is, because I am not able to do that. Daniel Gore takes a little bit of time here on the mound, just to recover after that one. A runner on first base.
And Louis Jean coming up to the plate, and thanks Art Ward for correcting us on mispronunciation.
Yeah, we want to make sure that we get that pronunciation right. As that one's laced, and Taylor Wright just misses that one, as that'll be coming around. Runners on the corners now. Taylor Wright diving out for that one. And unfortunately, it'll move the runners into the corners here with one out in the inning.
Gene's definitely the total player here. He's definitely been able to do a lot of stuff. He even pitched a few innings in that blowout game on Wednesday, too, and he actually got a few strikeouts. And Tyler Duncan will be the batter now. Duncan is 0 for 3, his pair of strikeouts and a ground out, 5-3. Of course, one of the victims of the Taylor Wright show down at third base.
And I have to give his mom, she's been on me all year, and Tanya, I'm doing my best. I know we want to see Taylor's performance, the highlight reels. We're doing everything we can. He's just too good. We can't keep up with him.
Ball one, and Gene takes second base on defensive indifference. Cardinals just looking to stay out of the double play here.
And that's exactly what they're going to try and do, is that one's fouled off. Not near us for sure. That's one you won't catch me flinching on. It sounds like a fan made a good catch down just off the field.
Well, I caught myself in Hamilton flinching on the one because mind you, I was staying a lot closer than I usually do as far as the press box at Hastings Stadium and everything else. But Hastings, I don't even bother now. I just say there's a screen, there's a mesh, there's a metal pole that's going to hit before it hits me anyway. So.
And that one's fouled off basically in the same area. Look for the fan for a catch. 4 fans make the catch. All together, it's all a big happy family down there on the first base line, or third base line, I should say.
I think it's just a matter of time before Tyler Duncan grooves into one again here.
Well, as a Majors personnel, let's make sure that's not tonight, though. As he gets struck out on that one, Danielle Gore dropping a little bit of a breaking ball on him there. That'll put 2 out in the inning.
And Bonaito will be the batter now.
And it sounds like the game over in Welland is just continuing. Spencer Tange telling me bases loaded for Garrett Carrington.
Greg Carrington?
Or Greg Carrington, sorry. Greg Carrington. It's hard when they only give you the first letter. You got to take a little guess at it. Greg Carrington, bases loaded, 1 out. That game is a crazy game, and so is this one. As that one flies out to center field, Phil Whalen makes the catch. Daniel Gore leaves 2 on in the top of the 8th inning here. We're going to head to a quick break here and come back with Majors at the plate. And we're back, Majors fans. We've got changes all over the diamond, and we're going to try and get through them all. Neil's up here doing point streak, and I'm going to try and fish everything out here. We've got Anthony Bonanuto. He's now in the game to pitch. You have Ryan Burnside, who's come out of the game behind the plate. He's now at first. You have a new right fielder as well, and we have a new catcher. We were going to get those all to you as soon as possible. We're just trying to manage to see who they are. Looks like it's number 10 in behind the plate for the Cardinals as well. So like I said, we will try and get them all to you. It's a long way up from the field here. But we're going to have Gibson Kraminski come to the plate. He came in for Cleveland Brownlee earlier in this game. So Gibson Kraminski is going to come to the plate here. And Kraminski is going to get his first at-bat. He stole second base earlier on in the game when he came in. He stole it on a E2, I should say, as that one's going to come inside. Not often you see a right fielder come into the game here, but when it's a 12-1 game, you got to play tomorrow afternoon, a 2 o'clock start at Bernie Arbor Stadium down the 403 in Hamilton. And we have Aiden Muir in right. Jeremy Vieux is behind the plate. Burnside's at first. And Anthony We're gonna turn Neil's mic up here because I am not gonna try on that name. We've said it before, folks. I'm not the best with names.
Anthony Uto, sorry.
As Gibson Kraminski will look at ball 3 there. 3-1 to Kraminski.
Anthony, if I ever see you in a bar, I definitely owe you a beer.
I think I owe him a case after that one. I think we got a few down in the store. I might have to go over and just hand it to him and say, "Here you go," and he'll look at me like, "What's this for?"
Yeah.
Oh,
you'll watch the video and know.
Yeah, watch the live stream and you'll have an answer. As Kraminski fouls that one off down into the Cardinals bullpen.
3-2 pitch on its way now. Swung on and missed. And Anthony's got a strikeout. Can we just call him Anthony for the rest of the game?
I think we're getting 10 o'clock here.
We've decided, Anthony, you're just getting your first name for now.
I wish we knew his nickname.
Yeah.
AB maybe.
Maybe we'll just call him Bono from now on.
I like. I think that one's taken.
Yeah, it might be taken.
I think that one's taken. There,
we might
Neil.
get some lawyers from YouTube from.
Yeah, I think that one might be taken on.
How about AB?
AB? I'm okay with AB. Anthony, I hope you're okay with that. I don't want to ruin your name any more than I already have
to. I feel so bad I did it for 5 games.
I'm someone that I feel bad after once. So, and he's pitched well here. He got Gibson Kraminski to strike out. Kieran Bowles now at the plate here. He came in for Robert Mullen in that last inning.
I think we're definitely getting the no invite back. After this game, the chat's probably rolling their eyes at it.
And Dylan, I know Dylan should be back for Tuesday. So, and that'll be the next Majors broadcast up here in the Game Day London press box.
Of course, Garrett Matthews will have the game tomorrow. Garrett does a great job by himself up there.
Yeah, you know what, Neil? And this is why, I was glad you were able to come down. I don't know if I could do this myself.
It's a long work. I know I did it 3 games in London by myself. 3 games with London in Kitchener.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, then that was the doubleheader, too.
Yep.
So you must have been well tired on that one.
I went home that night. I'm not even hungry for dinner. I just went right to bed.
Yep, and a big glass of water.
It was just like, I'm thirsty, I'm going to bed. That's it.
As Bowles looks at a 1-2 count here. And he'll line that one into left center field, and he'll get his first hit of the game. Bowles, after coming in defensively, now stands at first base. He's been coaching a little bit of first base earlier in this game. You see him talking. Looks like Braden Farrington. We've seen Braden this season. He's ran, I think, 3 times in this season for Cleveland.
Yep.
And he's hit as well.
Well, exactly. I remember the R.J. Rose made a big deal out of it when he got a hit and everything else. And of course, Braden Farrington asked a great question. I don't know if do you play MLB The Show at all or no?
I don't have time.
Okay, well, I don't. Well, neither do I. But it's like when he asked that question, I was like, why did nobody else jump on this?
Yeah.
Like, I want to answer him back. I want to actually sit down with him and make an all-star team.
Yeah.
A Diamond Dynasty team.
Well, I think, are we going just this year?
Yeah, just this year. Just this year.
I think there might be a few majors on that one.
I would think there's probably a few.
I think those majors are out of this game now. But
yeah, but I would be okay with that too. It's just like, and then of course you have to go with Justin Gideon. You'd have to go with Claudio Custodio on the hill, and then you're going to have
Malik
some
Collymore.
Malik
Collymore is probably one of the top third basemen.
Collymore, Salazzo. It's going to be a tough call.
You know what? I'm going to make a veteran call here and put Salazzo at 1.
Okay.
Salazzo's played a little bit of first base. I'm going to put him over at 1. As Joseph takes ball 2 there on that one, a 2-1 count on Joseph, the right fielder here.
Joseph, of course, two for four, two singles, a long out fly ball out in the first inning.
As that one's out.
And he grounded out to the shortstop as well. We got a pair of singles and a run scored.
And that ground out was a hard ground out, too. I remember that one earlier in this game. He grounded out, and it was hard hit, too. It's one thing the Majors have. If they're going to ground out, it's going to eat you up hard if it's not lined right at you. And that's one thing that the Majors are powerful for. As that one's lined right to third base, throw back to first. No throw, sorry. But Kieran Bowles dives in ahead, so there is no throw. But Joseph lines to the third baseman there.
Underwood with another great play, and that's another laser beam by Joseph.
Didn't I just say a couple hard hit balls here for Joseph? And that one was another one.
He's definitely not getting ripped off at the plate here, that's for sure.
No, we talk about it, folks, that, everyone hits hard. They play well. And this one is one that he's hit balls as hard as he can. He hit two against Brantford that I think they're still in the Thames right now. As Chris McQueen comes to the plate. Chris is 1 for 1 and might be 2 for 2 with this one. And a great play
stop by Tyler Duncan. Wow.
And McQueen with a tip of the cap to Duncan. An incredible play. I really hope that I was able to switch that one quick enough because he lined out flat for that one.
He went flat out, that's for sure. And Tyler Duncan, like I said, he was talking off the top. He's going to be one of these players to watch as this Cardinals team evolves and ages together and just keeps going together.
And with that, Neil, we're going to take a break here. Majors lead 12-1. Could have been more except for Tyler Duncan with a great play out in center field.
Do you know where your food comes from? Like where it really comes from? It comes from farms, farmers, and their families. At Healthy Eats, we believe if we wouldn't serve it to our families, we wouldn't serve it to yours. From farm to folks, we do things the way they're meant to be.
Here we go.
Believe me, you've never heard a talk show like this.
I'm sleeping with Joe Carter. By the way, Joe did not touch them all.
Yeah, I have to say, your voice is fantastic.
Meet Smitty.
Listen, I'm the brains here.
And Mitty.
And I'm the good-looking funny one.
This is the Smitty Mitty Show.
Catch new episodes of the Smitty and Mitty Show wherever you get your podcasts. Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home. Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and athletes. Whether it's the London Knights, Nationals, or Lightning, or even your London Majors, Game Day London has you covered. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com. Game Day London, a proud sponsor of your London Majors.
Back. We're back here, top of the ninth inning. Majors lead 12-1 on 17 hits so far in this game. Neil, I don't want to say the Cardinals. I almost called them the Bulldogs. Yep. The Cardinals are getting a little tired here, a little gas after last night's great performance in Guelph, but it's starting to get to that point. Late in the night, we're still under 10:30 here.
Yep.
So I should say that we're motoring along.
We're at the 3-hour mark, anyways, because we started at 7:05. So.
Yep.
But yeah, I think the league as a whole needs to do something to increase or cut down the innings or time between innings.
Yeah, and that's tough. You get new pitchers into the game.
Yep.
They got to get warm, all that kind of stuff. But it is something that I think the league will look into this year.
And sometimes the umpires are talking and everything else. They don't realize how many pitches the guy's got thrown in between innings. And then sometimes it feels like the guy's thrown 20 between innings. And it's like, come on, guys, keep going. Maybe we have to bite the bullet, bite the cost, and put a clock up in each park.
I think I might know a few people. That one's grounded to second base there. Thrown out by Newton. That's out number one here.
You know a guy, eh?
In the fifth inning, or in the ninth inning here. Yeah, I might know a guy. I know a company that does a few scoreboards here. here and there.
They want to do a pro bono gift to Guelph. We'd love to run hits and errors on our scoreboard somehow.
Oh. Well, I know that. I know the company that made that one too.
Yes,
so
exactly.
Maybe we'll get something in the works. Either way, this game has been exactly a beautiful night. I shouldn't say exactly. It's been a beautiful night. Exactly what we all expected is what I should say here.
And that's not a slight against the Cardinals. They're riding the high last night, and they came in here and it's hard.
Oh, I'm not even talking about the play. I'm talking about overall. This has been a beautiful night. Fans have been out. The Cardinals, as you said, they're riding the high. They're enjoying what they're going to get. They're going to give the Majors a hard time tomorrow. I can guarantee you that
no question they will.
They're going to give the Majors everything and make sure that if they want to get to the finals, it's going to be tough. As that one's grounded to Keith Candell. Dan Perrier has to use a little bit more than normal on that one. Stretches up all 6'9". What do you think the wingspan is on that one?
It's like, okay, don't worry. You can throw it 10 feet tall. I can still get it.
Yeah. Dan Perry is able to get that one there. The second out in the inning.
That was a high sailor from Candell, which he usually gets on top of the ball there, but that one just kind of just let it go and it kept carrying.
And Dan Perry is there. I think, Dan, you could throw it, I'd probably say 7 feet each way, and he'd still be able to catch that one.
Stretch Armstrong or Elastoman or whatever you want to call him now. Again, I probably just dated myself.
A little bit. As that one's in there for strike one, the Cardinals down to their last batter, or their last out here.
Of course, Underwood 0 for 2. He walked in the second inning. He was the hero last night in Hastings Stadium.
Well, he can keep this game going with getting on base here, but it'll be tough, even harder now. Daniel Gore up 0-2 on him. Cardinals down to their last strike in this game. Game one of the semifinal action of this IBL playoffs. Daniel Gore has time called here before the final pitch is thrown.
That's a loud boo.
That was a loud boo from our fans. I'm not sure if that was picked up by our mics up here, Neil, but the fans didn't like that one. They want to see strike three and that strikeout. Daniel Gore comes set, and that's pitched just outside. He wanted that one. You could see the little dance just off the edge of the mound.
Of course, again, because of the playoffs and everything else is under short turnaround tomorrow afternoon. It's less than 24 hours. It's like, what is it, 14?
Enough to get a nap?
Enough to get a nap,
Enough to get a nap and a bus trip.
Yeah, and hopefully somebody else is driving. If it's not a bus trip, somebody else is driving.
Those new Teslas work, right?
Yeah.
Daniel Gore comes set, and that will just miss low for ball three. A full count here to Underwood.
The Cardinals do a great job of working counts.
They have. They've worked Jose Arias multiple times. Now they've got Daniel Gore working as he will pitch just outside. He wanted that one. Kieran Bowles wanted that one. The fans wanted that one.
And that's a great approach by Underwood there, just to stay with it and say, I might have swung a little too aggressively on one pitch, but now I'm going to be a smarter hitter here and just work the count. And it's Aiden Muir coming to the plate here, number 45. Muir. Yeah.
As we get a few checking on pronunciations, we've been bad for that there, Neil. We've had one of the hardest names in the IBL here tonight. I'm glad the professionals will be back on Tuesday. That's for sure.
I'm kind of glad that nobody has to say my last name too often in this league.
I think we made that deal earlier. It's Neil.
Well, all the way through school, they just used to call me Neil Alphabet, so that was fine.
Oh, that works. that definitely works.
Or Neil ABC man. That was just like, I don't know how. I can remember getting called to the office one year, and it was like, can Neil ABC man come to the office? I'm just like, oh man, what did I do?
As that one is a beautiful off-speed pitch in there for Daniel Gore. 0-2 is the count here. Daniel Gore looking to put this game away. Runner on first base here. Swing and a miss. Daniel Gore strikes out the batter. The Majors take game one of the semifinal game
12-1 is your final score. Here's your final line totals for the Hamilton Cardinals. 1 run, 4 hits, 1 error. For the London Majors, 12 runs, 17 hits, 1 error. As the Majors take a 1-0 series lead in this best-of-5 semifinal series. Game 2 goes tomorrow afternoon in Hamilton. Garrett Matthews will have the call over on the Hamilton Cardinals YouTube page. I'm sure everybody will post it on social media for you tomorrow.
And Neil, just a quick wrap up. We're not going to do the normal Neil or Noah and Dylan show here.
Yep.
We'll talk quickly here. The keys to the Majors tonight: the big bats early on. You get a 5-0 lead early, the first inning, and then you get Jose Arias, who goes 6 innings of shutout baseball.
Yep.
That's all you could ask for.
Exactly.
Even if the Majors don't score another run, they scored 5 more in the 7th run or the 7th inning.
Yep.
That put the game out of reach for everybody. But 5 runs in the first inning, that gives you the win right away. What do you think the Hamilton Cardinals did well in this game?
I think they just worked the counts well. They hit the ball hard. And if the London Majors defense was off their game tonight, they probably could have got a couple of runs through here and changed the course of the game. Look at the first inning when Gene got thrown out trying to steal home. He steals that. He gets home on that one. It's a different ball game.
It's a different ball game right away. It's a 1-0 game for the Cardinals going into the bottom of the first inning. Majors' mindset might be a little different. They know now they're behind. They've got to get through it. That'll be it for Neil and I up here. Folks, we know it wasn't the normal Noah and Dylan show. We appreciate every one of you listening to us ramble on, stories, everything you could ask for out of Majors TV. Noah and Dylan, one of them I can guarantee, if not both, I promise you we'll be back on Tuesday night. We'll be back here 7:35 Tuesday night from the Game Day London press box. Majors will look to take a 2-0 lead tomorrow in Hamilton. We'll have everyone we wish to have a great night, and we will see you Tuesday night.